moments that steal the mundane taste. No fear, no hold in this maze. Reach the peak of these wild days. It lives, Friday night lives. You die, but Friday night lives. Hosted by Deadbeat Radio, Stuntman Marky Rambo Rap.
What the fuck? It was killer.
That's our
is
house
awesome.
band, boss.
Yeah.
House band.
Oh, that's catchy as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Rocking out on a Friday night and special edition of Friday Night Lives.
So this is an interesting show idea that you had, by the way. And like, I mean, we've done similar kind of things like this, but we haven't done it in this way, in this format or anything. So this would be cool. I've been looking forward to this.
What made you think of the idea? Did you just see the book and
The book, which I've had for years and years and years, and honestly, like it was kind of integral. Like 2003 is when this book came out. It was new then when I got it. Helped me discover a lot of movies at that time because DVD was bringing a lot of these out for the first time. There was still a bunch that weren't out. So yeah, I mean, I think it was a pretty good book. I'll give Fangoria a little bit of credit, but has it aged well? That's the question.
About to find out.
Hey, Uncle Bill, check your mic, buddy.
What's
Tap
wrong with my mic?
I think you're picking up your headphone.
yeah, when you tapped it, there was no sound.
Yeah.
Well, fuck it. Yeah, you're right. Huh.
I just had a really quick rant too while Uncle Bill's
Sure.
All right. What about now?
tap it now, just and we'll see. Mm,
No, it should be a little louder than that.
no, tapping mine. See,
I don't know.
Yes, I do too.
talk a little bit. Maybe it's just lower. I don't know.
Hi. How are you?
It sounds better. I think it sounds okay.
I'll fuck with you. You just go on your rant.
Anyway, so McDonald's, like everything's retro
Okay.
again, right?
McDonald. What a fucking segue. Okay.
I cannot believe that they did such a shitty job on a great idea of bringing these back. Because my wife and I collect the collector's cups from the 80s. Like, we've been into that for many years. Like, Smurfs, the Looney Tunes. You know, McDonald's did a bunch of them back in the day for their McDonald's, like the Hamburglar and what is it, Garfield, and there was WWF ones and everything. And they come out with these new ones this week or the last couple of weeks, and she got one of them today, man. And I swear to God, like, for one thing, it's not even a fucking glass; it's plastic. You could throw this against the wall, and it would just fucking like
Nice.
it's a. And for the other thing, it doesn't even look like the old cups. What the hell is that?
Oh, so you got at the used place for $1.
What? Yeah,
What is that?
It's celebrating 1999 Mattel. I think it's Barbie, and then another side's Hot Wheels, I believe. 1995. This is celebrating the 90s.
It looked like someone puked on it.
Yeah, it looked like an explosion at the Crayola factory. It's about what it looks like.
McDonald's poor. They can't afford glass anymore.
Why couldn't they get like a deal with? They could have done new WWE ones or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, these suck.
I like it.
They won't be
It's a
collectible at
statement.
all. It'll be shit that you'll see in Goodwill, like
Bulls, we
for
got
10 cents.
for the first time ever though a real celebrity in here. Carrot Top is in the chat. I want you to know that.
Carrot
Top.
Top. Welcome, Carrot. So you guys want to get rolling here? I mean, we've got a lot of people in the chat. You want to give some shout outs, Uncle Bill?
So we have Starting from the top, Vanderhoff's in here. Atanas Andradas says, "What's up?" Wes and Bill McHorr's in here. Ken Carlson, the mayor. Thank you for the birthday wishes, everybody. Billy Boston, Kevin
How's it feel
Smith.
to be 50 years
Wow.
old?
I feel 50. I feel every day of the 50 that I
50.
probably am. Tape Rock Video. Thank you for that. LA Jules in here. Mozart's Ghost is in here. That's nice.
I think he become a member recently.
The other
That's
Mark,
okay.
Imposter Mark, is in here. Chips Regardless.
One thing I wanted to bring up too while you're going through this, and I never did mention this to Mark, but this is fucking hilarious. My wife always comes in here right before she goes to bed just to make sure I don't have any women I'm talking to on here, I guess. I don't know. Right.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, she's just glancing. She's just getting up from a nap or something. And she was like, "Who is that? Was he called Stud Muffin Mark?"
That's awesome.
I said, "That's a hell of a gimmick, actually. He might
Yeah,
go
that's
with
I
a
have
it."
to
new
take
gimmick.
that. Yeah.
I fucking died laughing. That was just so killer. Stud Muffin Mark, baby. All right. So this book from 2003, Fangoria. They did a few books back in the day, and you can get them. You can still get this really cheap, actually. Fangoria's 101 best horror movies you've never seen.
Oh,
A celebration of the world's most unheralded fright flicks by Adam Lukeman and Fangoria Magazine, which means "Don't let them pun had something to do with it."
Good old Tony T.
So there are 101 of these. We're going to try to go through them, get through all 101. They're alphabetical, starting with, I think this is first. Yeah. Alice, Sweet Alice. Would you guys consider this still to this day like a, kind of a rare horror movie to check out?
It's gotten more attention over the last probably 10 years because Arrow put it out and like a bunch of people started talking about it. I think it's one of the only American Giallo films that is truly like an American Giallo type film.
Definitely one of the best, and that came out in the 70s around like the golden era of the subgenre. So yeah, I'd agree with that. I love the music in it too.
Yeah. The look of the killer in Alice, Sweet Alice is creepy as fuck too.
The creepiest part about that movie is that pedophile landlord, though.
Oh man,
Like the
yeah.
the big guy just
Yeah.
sits in the chair and he's like, yeah.
Yeah, the guy was only in 2 movies. I think Blood Sucking Freaks was the other one. So those are 2 good ones for him.
Yep.
All right. So, Matt, you got anything on Alice, Sweet Alice, or have you seen it before? I'm sure you've
I haven't seen. No, I haven't seen that one.
Really?
You
Okay.
got to see that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would highly recommend that one.
Somebody
Uh,
pay him to watch that movie instead of like fucking
Yeah, man.
I saw.
Transformers
I
or
saw-
something.
I saw Butcher Baker. I like that one. The Nightmare Maker. That was good.
Yeah.
So I was too busy watching shit like Mousetrap,
That's so great.
but Teleport Mickey Mouse. Who,
He's watching season 4 of Boy Meets World episode 37. You leave him the fuck alone.
that's soon.
So,
Topanga. Yeah.
continuing on, Alone in the Dark. Captain Jack Shoulder directed that one, 1982. This one's, I think this one's claim to fame is the first killer with a hockey mask, right, in a movie.
Yeah.
Or I mean, well, maybe there may
Fri-
have been one before.
Well, Friday 13th Part 3 actually came out a few months before it. I
Oh,
believe.
really? Okay.
Because I think this was like in November, but that was like in the summer or October. No, like a few months before Friday 13th Part 3. But I know it was like the first New Line Cinema movie before they did Nightmare on Elm Street. It's a good one. I like the cast, especially.
It's interesting for sure.
I think it's probably like it's still underrated, I think. But like Scream Factory put it out, so I mean it's got a pretty mainstream release now. I think it's great, and that older cast in that movie is fucking insanely good. Like playing
Mhm.
crazy.
That
Some
was
of the-
his directorial debut, right? Jack Shoulder. Yeah, that's a hell of a start. I love
think
that poster
he's-
too.
He's an underrated director, I think, too. Like,
The
he did
Hidden.
the Hidden and Elm Street 2, which I think,
Mhm.
man, Elm Street 2 is to me is very close to being as good as the first movie. I think.
I can see that.
That one's really grown on me. The Hidden is another one that's fucking crazy underrated. I don't know what the hell's going on, why they haven't done a special edition of that, but whatever. But yeah, Alone in the Dark is one that came out. Scream Factory brought it out, but I still don't think it really caught on that much for some reason. So it's still underrated for sure. Continuing on, this one is a film from the late 1990s. I've seen it one time. I think it's very toned down from the Stephen King novella, Apt Pupil, with
God.
Ian McKellen and who's the boy's name in it?
Brad Renfro.
Renfro.
Brad Renfro.
Have you guys read the short story from Stephen King?
Mm-mm.
So I actually have the book because it's got a couple the body and Shawshank and all that's in it. There's shit in that book that they could never put on screen, like especially now and even back then. So it's a very toned down version. I think in the book, Brad Renfro in the movie's like 16 or 17. I think in the book he starts out being a really, really young kid that's
Yeah.
into all this weird shit. But
And I heard the ending was very different in the book. Not to
Yeah.
give it away, but yeah. That's a weird movie to watch because of the circumstances of who made it. Yeah,
Right.
like the
Oh,
scene,
yeah.
there's like a shower with all the kid. It's very weird to watch that. And I don't know how to feel about it. Is that a badly made movie? Is that a badly acted movie? Ian McKellen's really good
Mm-hmm.
as this Asian Nazi, really. But like I said, the people who made it, I can't say it on YouTube.
yeah, I don't think they really want to touch that movie again. So that may be one that'll still be unknown for decades to
I-
come.
I
I
think
know
I
I-
remember. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Mark. I was just gonna say I know I've seen this movie, but I must not have thought that much of it because I don't remember a damn thing about it. I remember the Nazi angle, but I don't remember like a whole lot else.
You should read the short story, though. I think Uncle Bill in particular, I think that you would, where it's a novel or whatever the hell they call it. It's one of the very rare ones that I actually read, but and as great as Shawshank Redemption is and The Body is, that might be my favorite story in that book.
Interesting.
The one quick thing about that movie is I remember Brad Renfro threatens David Schwimmer, like verbally
God.
threatens him. Because David Schwimmer's like a teacher or something, and I'm like,
Brad-
David Schwimmer's in this?
Brad Renfro,
Why?
man, though, he passed away not long after this movie, though, right? It was like, well, probably less than 10 years.
It was after 2003 because he was up for Freddy vs. Jason, but he had
Mhm.
his drug problem, so he got fired, and it was pretty soon after that his demons caught up with him.
That's right, because he was hired on the movie originally.
Yeah.
I remember that.
The guy who was took over was John Ritter's son,
Mhm.
Jason Ritter.
Evidently,
So-
Umbrella Entertainment has the Blu-ray out.
Hmm.
So call upon Luke or Butch and see if they can ship it to you.
Brian Singer.
Yeah.
And
Who
there's
went
been
on
some-
to
Oh,
Got
do
to
I
know.
see.
the
I see what
X-Men
everybody's
movies and
talking
stuff.
about now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was before the
Makes sense.
X-Men, right? X-Men, the first one was
Way
like
before.
what?
2000.
2000.
Okay.
It was after Usual Suspects, I believe. That was his claim to fame.
This next one is a gothic horror movie from 1972, director Peter Newbrook. And this is an interesting name for a movie. The Asphyx.
Yeah.
I've heard
never
of it.
seen it.
Never seen it.
I've actually seen it.
Okay.
I think Kino did the Blu-ray not too long ago. It's actually not too bad. It's one of those gothic horror movies, though. So if that's not your vibe, I can't remember if it was a Hammer movie or not. But it's basically like this guy has invented a machine that catches the spirit of a person as they're passing away or whatever. And it's called the Asphyx.
There's no way that's
That's
really
what-
how is that really how it's pronounced?
How would you
Asphyx?
ASPHYX?
Yeah, I guess it is. Asphyx.
It's actually not bad though. I mean, I remember it being okay. Was it something that I'd watch like all the time? Probably not. But Mark, have you seen it?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
I know of it, but I've never seen it.
Seven Doors of Death, aka The Beyond.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
of course.
is that movie underrated at this point, or I don't think so. Like, I think
Into-
pretty much everybody that
No.
knows anything about Italian films knows about that.
In 2003, I don't even know how underrated it was.
No,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back to like the availability of it even back then. Maybe it was somewhat, but
I
Would it
can't
have been-
remember when the DVD came out. It would have been closer around that time, I think.
yeah,
mhm.
Would it have been Anchor Bay or some
Yeah.
other company?
Yeah, they did the 10, the limited edition 10, I think.
Christian's on to something here, I believe. He knows. We can talk about the physical media edition of the Beyond because there's a fucking ton of them now. But
Mhm.
I think they're Grindhouse Releasing is shopping around like the new 4K remaster in theaters right now, and I'm sure eventually we'll get it. But the Beyond's a damn classic. I mean, what else can you say? I think pretty much everybody loves the Beyond.
a lot of people are split on the ending, but I always liked it because I like endings like that anyway.
Yeah. That movie that came out, I think it was 2017-ish. It's called The Void. You guys seen
Yeah.
that one? The ending reminded me of The Beyond. There's no way that wasn't directly.
It probably was directly lifted from that. Yeah,
It had to be.
You know, the house from the Beyond is still there, and I think it's in Savannah, Georgia, and it looks pretty much identical to when it did back in the day. It's so weird. But yeah, I mean that's a special movie for me for sure. Love the Beyond, and then we go to Beyond the Door from 1974. Any memories of this one? This is also, I guess it started a series. There was 3 Beyond the Door movies.
yeah, I have a lot of memories of it. It's like not very good, in my opinion, and it keeps getting released over and over again for some reason by different companies. That like they must license that out for like a peanut butter sandwich or something because like it's just everybody's put that out. So I don't. It's not a good movie though. It's really not. And the sequels aren't very good either.
I've seen it, but I don't remember it at all. So not
It's
much I can say.
Exorcist ripoff.
Yeah,
Was
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, wait. There's 2. Wait, I'm thinking Beyond the Darkness. Never mind. Beyond the Door is a whole other thing.
Beyond the Door, yeah, is the Exorcist ripoff. Like
It's a-
Italy, that's a big thing in Italy. Like if something's a hit,
Mhm.
here we go, boys. And they were quick because this was 74.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you think they were the first?
They
Exorcist
had to
ripoff?
be one of the I would say the first, possibly, but who knows?
Yeah, the only slight difference is that it's a grown woman that's possessed, and I think she's like pregnant or something.
So she,
Oh, no.
so she repossessed.
They should have got Peter Bark to be possessed in it. Everybody would know that movie now. Black Christmas from 1974, man. And this is in
Classic.
2003. This one was more or less pretty difficult to find, believe it or not.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember they had that one version. What was it? Everybody was looking for
The Critical Mass DVD.
critical. Yeah,
It was out of print, the original DVD, and was going for big bucks. And then since then, I mean, they've re-released it over and over and over. But yeah, a lot
It's-
of people.
It
at
was
this point,
something I think special feature wise on that edition. Was it like a Bob Clark commentary or something that people were? That's what they were going crazy for. Like they didn't carry the commentary over to the other editions. Something like that.
I think though that's in my top 5 slasher films probably. Still to this day.
But and we'll probably talk about a few of these. I think Black Christmas is one of those movies that DVD kind of, I mean, up to this point, like a lot of people hadn't seen it, so
Yeah.
it gained more of an audience due to the physical media releases, I believe.
So I wanted to ask, do you think John Carpenter ripped it off, or do you think it
Yes.
was just a big coincidence?
There's
I
no fucking way.
100% think he ripped it off. Yeah.
Okay.
He's full of
It's-
shit in that interview. That even he did with us. Like,
It's too close. Yeah, it's too close. Too close.
Because I remember your interview you guys did.
he
like
got
I,
mad. He really legitimately got mad
Yeah.
about that question too. But like, facts are facts. He totally ripped that off.
Now, he's
He
never
knew-
seen it though.
He knew Bob Clark. Like, I mean, there's no way, man.
yeah, I remember that interview. That's why I had to ask you. I was like, he feigned innocence. What?
Black Christmas is the secret sequel to White Christmas. Be killer.
Same movie,
No,
basically.
Black Christmas is a classic. I agree. The Blob from 1988. Chuck Russell, boss. Everybody loves The Blob.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One of my personal favorites. That's one of those films I grew up with watching endlessly. I just realized the guy right there. That was a gift someone sent the Laserdisc,
Sweet.
and I grew in monster movies, and that's my kind of monster movie. And even nowadays, like The Thing and The Fly get their flowers, deservedly so, but The Blob is still kind of slept on, in my opinion. And I think it has like good acting, good mullets, good bazookas.
Excellent mullets, excellent bazookas. Yes.
Kevin Dillon's mullet in it is pretty amazing. I'm
But it's-
envious.
I wish I had that. But I mean, it's a pretty good script with likable characters. My favorite Shawnee Smith role. I don't really care about her in the Saw films. I liked her in this as a cheerleader. That's tough.
That's not her fault though. That's just the Saw movies.
That's true because if you
Yeah.
look at the
I
other
don't care for
movies,
anybody in those movies.
look
Well,
at
yeah.
the other movies that Shawnee Smith has been in, like Summer School and
Mhm.
that, and they're all really good actually. And she's pretty good in them. But like
Yeah.
when it comes to those Saw movies, those movies just suck ass
Yeah,
anyway.
that's
so it's
like-
not,
Bethy Russell, baby. Heavens to Beth. I don't blame her for Saw 18 or whatever she was in.
Right.
Yeah, this time period too for makeup effects is great. Like the mid to late 80s. Like to me, that's the peak, and then it just kind of went downhill from there because they
that's
started
one of the
using-
best. That's one of the best practical effects makeup movies that there horror films that there is. Really, like still to this day, a lot of that shit holds up.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
Frank Darabont was one of the writers on the
Mhm.
Blob remake. How wild is that? All right, now this one's
Blob.
kind of confusing. I don't remember this one. I mean, I remember the cover, but I don't remember ever seeing it. Hopefully, one of you guys has seen it. The Boneyard from 1991, directed by James Cummins.
I forgot that.
Is that the one with the poodle? Yeah.
The poodle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to make a list of some of these as we go through them, but yeah, I don't.
Real quick, I don't know who the just real quick. I don't know who the keggy is, but no, this show is live. Number one and number two, we ain't skipping shit. Like this is a book. We're going through every one of these movies. So sorry for your luck.
Man, you know what? That reminded me though, and I wanted to bitch about this real quick, and then we'll get back and Rambo. What?
Sure.
All the way live from Coolio, man. That's Coolio's best fucking song. I don't give a shit what anybody says, right? It's on the fucking Eddie soundtrack. That's the only way you can get it. It's not streaming on anything. You have to buy the goddamn Eddie soundtrack with Whoopi Goldberg.
What the hell is what is 80?
What song? Eddie's the basketball movie star.
Yeah, the
Whoopi
basketball
Goldberg.
movie.
But
with
what's
Whoopi-
Coolio's song? Are you talking about?
All the way live?
Where did that come from? Did someone mention it in the chat? Or?
No, I think
No, I think that just came from his fucking brain.
Had to
somehow.
put it over real quick.
I was
No,
wondering, like,
Uncle Bill said
that's
we're
so
all the way
weird.
live.
oh,
That's-
okay.
Oh,
I don't think I said all the way live.
Well, it reminded
But,
me of that.
Yeah.
That's-
It's the
We're
weirdest
live, pal.
segue I've ever seen. Yeah.
It ain't
You
no
know what?
segue. We're getting back into it. What was
You
you
know
going
what?
to say, Matt?
Wait a minute. You don't like Dance's Paradise? You said that's the only good Coolio song?
No, I said that's the best one. I like Gangster's
That's-
Paradise, but that's been played to death. All the Way Live is underrated. I advise everybody to go buy the Eddie soundtrack just for that song.
You heard it here first. All the way live is a classic.
All the way.
Now what-
live.
Now I'm wondering if that movie's on Blu-ray just to hear this song.
It just-
you got to do an AI version for the next stream now.
I swear to God, I thought you were talking about 80 and the Cruisers for a minute. I've never even heard of 80.
By the way, I haven't seen the movie. I just know there's a big poodle creature at the end.
oh, the Boneyard, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be killer if it was in Eddie.
Well,
big poodle fucking creature and ate him like Whoopi Goldberg movie.
I want to write the Boneyard down though. I don't know if I guess that's probably out. Somebody released it on DVD at least.
It's probably on Tubi.
Tubi.
Yeah.
The Borrower from 1991, John McNaughton, and this one came out not too awful long ago. I think Shout Factory released it. Ray Dong
I've never seen this movie, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it.
Heard of it. It's about an alien that will borrow people's heads, and it's also a cop movie as well. Haven't seen it. I've heard of it.
Pretty much, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Right. They've got trivia about each of these movies too. You want to hear some trivia about the Borrowers?
Sure.
Keggy does.
One of the movie's victims is played by Neil Giuntoli, who would go on to star in the sequel to McNaughton's Henry: Portrait of a Serial Killer. Everybody remembers that one.
I
Henry
actually
2,
do
Electric
remember that.
Boogaloo.
Yeah, that's an awful. Well, it's not awful, but it's just that's one of the least likely sequels to ever been made. I think.
Isn't the guy like that plays Henry like a really short, pudgy guy?
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. He almost looks like what's that guy that shot his Beretta that shot his wife or whatever? It kind of looks like that guy,
Robert Blake.
Robert Blake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We have 163 people in here right now checking the suit live. So perfect opportunity to thumbs up and hit the heart button, right, Uncle Bill?
Yeah. Thumbs it up. Hit the I don't give a shit button while you're at it, and also
The go fuck yourself button.
go fuck yourself button. It's right on the left.
Brain Damage, Frank Henenlotter, 1988. And the DVD was available from Synapse Films. They've got it on here right now.
Technically,
Even in
you could say
2003.
that like all of Frank Henlotter's movies are kind of like, except Basket Case, are kind of underrated, unheralded, underappreciated. But like,
Underappreciate it. Yeah.
but that is probably also one of my favorites. So
Elmer, right?
Almer, yeah.
And well, who is the actor who voiced him?
Oh, the Ghoul guy.
Um,
The guy that was the
is it Zachary?
Zachary. Was it Zachary? I think that's right.
It was one of those horror host guys, I
Yeah.
think.
Very unique choice, and again, I love the effects. I love the Elmer weird ass character, and I mean, I know it's obvious, but I just love the drug connection. Just it's such a cool take on drug addiction. Very unique. I can't think of many other films that did it in that way, but that's what made Frank Henenlotter the way he is. I didn't see his last one. I think we talked about it once. Some of you guys did have good words to say about.
Are you talking about Babology?
Yeah, because you said everybody's underrated. Other
Except that one.
Except that one. I
Okay.
probably should have clarified it.
I mean, it's not
Don't
the
fucking
worst.
start with that.
I don't
movie.
think it is.
God, it looks like it was really the production quality of it is the biggest problem to me, other than the fact it's kind of goofy, but it looks just awful.
He
So how
did
do you-
something after that, right?
I don't know.
I think he did.
Yeah, I think he did too, but I never did
I can't
watch
remember
it.
what it was.
I was just going to ask quickly, did you see Brain Damage on VHS, or was it that Synapse DVD was your first introduction?
I
I'm
think
pretty-
it was the DVD for me.
DVD
Yeah, I
Synapse?
think so
Same
too.
here.
Did you mention it's probably hard to find that one, I would think. Well, maybe
Yeah.
not hard, but harder than usual.
Yeah, I'm not
Well,
sure
it
who would
was-
have done the videotape.
It was kind of like a big deal, at least initially, because he hadn't done a movie for like years.
Yeah,
So
Right.
that was like, I remember that on a lot of horror websites. Like,
Well, it was
he's back.
funded. Yeah, the rapper R.A. the Rugged Man funded the movie because he was a gigantic fan of Henenlotter. And a funny story, I had no fucking clue who that guy was. I didn't know he was a famous rapper or anything. And when we called up Henenlotter, R.A. the Rugged Man picked the damn phone up. I don't know what the hell the deal was. He was like, hell, this is R.A. the Rugged Man or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool.
I don't remember that, but that's killer. All right, well, can you put?
But yeah, he
Henenlotter?
funded it. Evidently, he had a bunch of money or something. He was sort of a big deal. But
Real
he
quick,
was
we
on
got,
the,
a
super
we got a
chat.
super chat. Hello, Dead Bit Stream. What do you think of Jordan Peele in terms of a horror director?
Frank Henenlotter's better.
I mean, I think he's made more better movies. Yeah, more memorable movies. I mean, I think, honest to God, for me, like Jordan Peele,
He's a
I
one
like
trick pony.
I like one of his movies a lot,
Okay.
and then the rest of them I do not give a shit about at all. That's kind of where
Dude,
I'm
like
at.
he needs to get away from like urban horror. Like that's all he does. Do something completely different.
Yeah. I mean, I think he has talent. It's just his ideas and the direction that he takes everything is, like you said, Wes, just the urban thing.
I mean, yeah. Like I don't know if I guess that's just what he wants to do. Another super chat.
Yeah, this is killer.
Appreciate
it says,
you guys.
Carter says that'd be like if Jelly Roll was best friends with Jim Van Bamber.
Jelly
talking about
Roll's got a
RA.
lot of friends. I wouldn't be too surprised.
Look,
That motherfucker's on everything.
RA was on the WWF Aggression album, so you can't make fun of him.
Hell yeah.
It's
I
classic.
didn't even realize that either. This was after the fact, I guess. All right. Castle Freak from 1995, directed by Stuart Gordon,
Great.
Mhm.
Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton, Jessica Dollahide, baby.
I do think that movie's still underrated, and like nobody ever references it, but it's a great practical effects like monster movie with some really fucked up scenes in it.
Right.
Still to this
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to rewatch that one. It's been quite a
It's
long time
alright.
since I've seen it.
I think it's all right. I don't think it's unheralded. I think it's all right.
Well,
It
look,
has that
look here,
cheap
I think
full
it's
moon
killer.
look to it, I think. Don't you guys think it looks generic though?
yeah,
it looks like every full moon movie.
Yeah.
Like, what do you
Yeah.
want?
that's what I mean.
If you turn on Subspecies, it looks like that. If you turn on fucking Puppet
Is
Master,
it-
it's gonna look like that.
Yeah, they use the same cast on Uruguay. Where the hell they shot all these movies? Where the hell?
It
It's
was,
like same backlot.
they said it was owned by Charles Band. Bullshit. Bullshit. Motherfucker doesn't own a damn castle in Romania or wherever the hell it's at.
Italy.
Fuck. No. I will say though, Barbara Crampton, man, for a woman that's in her 60s. Have you guys seen Jacob's Wife? Yeah,
Yeah.
the newest one that she.
With Fessenden in there.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I
It wasn't me. I swear. Someone
I-
else cheated.
I have never seen anybody that age that still looks that great.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you somebody else though, man. Ashley Lawrence.
Who dat?
I mean,
Who dat?
she's probably in her late 50s or something. She's insanely.
She's actually not as
Like-
old as you think. Like, she was only like 16 when Hellraiser was made. So how old did that make her?
Movie came out in 87.
But she still looks great. I ain't gonna lie. I
So
remember
that's wait, how was she?
I think she was 16 or
Okay.
17. Somebody in the chat can.
God, 87's been 38, 37 years.
I think she
something
might
like
be in her early 50s. Does that sound right?
that. She's
Sounds
57. Still, man.
okay.
57 and she looks like she's 30.
Yeah.
That's
Good-looking
pretty
woman,
good.
for sure.
Yeah.
Hey man, imagine what she looked like 20 years ago when I met her. Like I was like so nervous.
That picture's killer with her. Yeah. Oh fuck.
She was like extremely nice too. I remember that. All right, yeah, Castle Freak.
Buddy, whatever.
I agree with him.
Me and Mark are on Team Castle.
This is
Freak.
one though that Uncle Bill reviewed not too long ago, the new 4K edition. And this one at this point in time had no release here in the US. Cemetery Man from Michele Soave.
Okay, so like that's a movie I absolutely hated for the longest amount of time, but absolutely loved it when I went back and watched it again recently. So I don't know, like I don't know if that movie's underrated in horror films now or unheralded. Like it was before.
I still think it's underrated.
It definitely was during the time that book came out.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a great movie.
It's funny how so many people still seem to be split on that one. Like I see a lot of people saying it's overrated, and then other people say it's underrated. So
It's definitely like atypical. It's not like a typical film, even a typical film period.
Mhm.
Like,
True.
so I can see how a lot of people would not like it.
I think it's one of those though that like if you didn't like it before, the 4K is so beautiful. Like it's hard to not like it. It looks so great. Like it's one of them that just pops off the screen. I don't know what they did, but
Yep.
Okay.
this one's definitely still underrated in my opinion. What do you guys think of the Shang-Lang from 1980?
Love
Peter Madec.
it.
The
One of my-
Shang-Lang.
The
Shang-Lang.
Shang-Lang, baby.
Holy shit. Yeah, I watched a couple years ago. I watched that movie when it came on Shudder again, and I was like, my God, this is like a masterpiece. George C. Scott's amazing in that movie. Like the tone of that movie is amazing. It still works.
George C. Scott's amazing in fucking every. I don't think I've ever seen him in
That's
a movie
true.
where he's not insanely just intriguing. Just his fucking acting.
Yep. He doesn't
Um,
look like he's acting. He looks like he's actually just
Right.
like there. Like in whatever movie he's in, he doesn't appear to be phased.
He was
by
a
anything.
real man's man.
Yeah, I grew up with that one. I still have the VHS. It's the atmosphere, everything about it. It works on pretty much every level. It's great.
Fully agree. One of my favorite ghost story movies. Great atmosphere.
Mhm.
Iconic stuff. The ball going down the
Down the
stairs.
stairs.
That's been copied
Yeah.
so many times and
Yep.
parodied. Love
Pretty
it.
much everything in that movie has been copied a million times. Like the idea about the plot twist at the end and everything, and all of that, and the psychic that comes in with the pencil and is like, all that's been copied like by 1,000 modern ghost films now.
And that's one of those movies too that's just got a vibe throughout the entire movie. Like it's hard to even explain, but from the first second of the movie, it has that.
Yeah.
Almost like The Shining, kinda. It's that way too.
Absolutely.
Cherry Falls from 2000, boss.
Overrated.
I
didn't-
agree.
I like the premise. I think it could have been done a lot better. I like the premise. Okay, now he's going after the virgins. Okay, it's different. It's cool to see Michael Bean in it. I like
Did-
Brittany Murphy, but
Did that get a theatrical release? Wasn't that a TV movie?
It was supposed to get a theatrical release. I think it was on USA Network.
Yeah.
On I think it was set to be theatrically released in the 90s and it was delayed for a year or two. And then it Terror Track or something like that.
Terror Tract. I have the double feature DVD. I actually like that anthology.
It was stuck with that movie for years and years and years on DVD. And then I think Cherry Falls is out by itself from Scream Factory now.
It is.
But I mean,
trying to remember who directed that.
let's see. Jeffrey Wright, whoever that is.
Some shit ass. Like I really I really didn't like that movie. Like people hype that movie up like crazy, and then I finally got a chance to see it, and I was like, "What the fuck are y'all talking about?"
Well, what was it that you didn't like about it? Because I
The way
thought, like, yeah, go ahead.
It's boring as shit, number one, and it looks like shit, number two. So I
True.
don't. There's not a whole lot to like about that movie, in my opinion.
It is
Nothing's
very-
happened.
Amateurishly done, but
Yeah.
I enjoy it for what it is. Again, I
I-
saw it back when it first came out, and I thought it was kind of fun.
The concept of it was kind of cool in that, like, they were only going for, they were only killing the virgins, right? Was that the
Yeah.
deal?
Yeah,
That's the premise.
But the way that they executed it was not that great.
I don't think any of us Brickquake have seen Alien Romulus yet, but I thought about
No.
going to see it.
Dude, like, I've had 2 or 3 people already message me and say this is the best Alien movie since Aliens by
That's
far.
what I have
not even
heard, too.
close.
I'm sure they have.
Well, you'll have to go
Rambo
watch
ain't
it.
doing it. He
Rambo
ain't having
have to
none of
watch
it.
it. I know
He
that
will.
somebody will pay for it.
Yeah.
Someone already did.
Uh-oh.
Ah.
There you go.
Well, okay, the last review I saw compared to Evil Dead Rise in a good way. So there you go.
I'll let you in on a secret, Carter. It's not as good as Dracula 3. So there's that.
All right. This next one, I don't know if anybody, maybe Mark has seen this. A Chinese ghost story from 1987.
The title is very familiar.
Directed
Excuse me.
by,
Is it really called a Chinese ghost
yes.
story?
And guess it's directed by Uncle Bill. See if you can guess.
Was it?
Is it somebody named Wong?
Close.
Ronnie
It's-
Yu.
Sorry.
Directed
Ronnie
by
Yu.
Ching Su Sung.
Oh,
I'm sorry. That's not. That's good. I'm glad that he directed that.
But there's a
I'm
whole
not allowed to laugh
series
at that now.
there was a total of 4 Chinese ghost story movies.
Jet Li, somebody.
But Supernatural, made in Hong Kong. It's starring Ling Choi Sin and Lit Sin Sin. Lit Sin Sin, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a Chinese ghost story, is basically what it is.
Yeah.
Christmas Evil from 1980.
Oh, okay. I don't mind it. It's a I don't want to say subtle bits like Taxi Driver. It's Silent Night, Deadly Night. It's more the fun exploitation way. This is definitely more the serious, dramatic way. I like the lead guy, and the ending is interesting on how you want to interpret it. So I do like it for that. It's not I want to rewatch a lot, but like I said, if you like movies like Taxi Driver, that's about a guy who loves Christmas just a bit too much, and what to be a bit too much to the holiday season, it's worth a look. There's a couple little violent gags, a little bit. It's not a gory movie, but it's not a bad film, I thought.
Yeah,
Mark?
it's one of the early Christmas horror movies.
Come on, Mark.
Is it a slasher movie? They've got it listed as a slasher movie. I don't know.
I mean, not really. You're following this guy around. I mean, you see some of the, I guess you could call it early childhood traumas that he had to experience with his mom and stuff. And I like the movie. I mean, I like that scene with his mom and
I remember
he's
that,
like
yeah.
in the lingerie by the fireplace.
Dong Wong.
Yeah.
The star of the movie, Brandon Maggard, is the father of pop singer Fiona Apple. Fiona
What the
Apple.
hell?
That's weird, isn't it? At this point in time, the DVD was only available from Trauma, which means it basically was just a VHS on disc at this point in time. But yeah, I'd say this one is still kind of underrated.
Another thing with that was
It
that
is.
John Waters was a big fan of the movie. He was on the commentary.
Yeah.
I think I love movies like that though. That have an ending that's so fucking just surreal and out there that you just take you completely off guard. Like Pieces is another one. When you're watching Pieces, Macabre is another one too. When you
Macabre.
see the end of that movie, you're like, "What?" It's
Okay.
just, I like that kind of ending.
Kronos
real-
from 1993. Guillermo del Toro was one of his early movies.
I don't give a fuck about Guillermo del Toro. Listen, real quick, this is the best rip-off name for this shit. Alien Rambunctious.
So have you not seen that, Uncle Bill?
I may have at one point in time, but I've seen a lot of his movies and they all like flow together. Is that the one where the little like Egyptian thing drinks
Yes.
blood or whatever?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've seen it. Fuck it.
Criterion has it out.
I like the movie.
Mark's a
seen
big
it.
fan of Guillermo.
I do like his stuff though. I mean, I don't hate him.
Are you a big fan of Federico Lupi?
Hell yeah.
Sure.
The Day of the Beast from 1995, directed by Alex de Iglesia. De la de Iglesia.
Day of the Beast is Severn put that out actually. That's a pretty like
Mhm.
interesting demonic rip-off kind of movie.
Supernatural.
Omen kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Demonic
Style.
metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That 4K is really good, by the way. Anybody wants
Yeah, I agree though. People talking about Kronos is what Kronos was great in ECW. I loved him.
Right. Saturn and Kronos.
Saturn Kronos, yeah.
That's some old school shit. Day of the Dead from 1985.
Are you fucking shitting me?
Yeah.
How's that underrated?
I don't know. I don't think that one's underrated at all. What about you guys?
I mean, it's underrated if you believe that Dawn is better. So,
You mean if
Dawn is
you're-
better.
If you're a rational person?
yeah,
I-
okay.
Well, Dawn is better, but Day of the Dead is still great.
you guys can have your nacho cheese looking blood. I'm good. I'll take Day of the Dead. I like Dawn of the Dead. I'm just kidding.
Day of the Dead, I think, has the better soundtrack. Would you guys admit that?
Mm-hmm.
No, I won't admit
Has
that.
better makeup effects.
It does have better makeup effects. I'll
Well,
give you
yeah, I
that.
agree with that.
Better characters.
No,
Continue.
what the fuck are you talking about, Mark?
Is that
I
Kim
mean,
Frey, buddy?
I'll say
Actually,
this.
I think like the dialogue is more memorable probably in Day of the Dead as well.
Yeah, I could quote everything Captain Rhodes said.
Uncle
I mean,
I don't know if something has happened here and y'all been exposed to gas or something, but no, like
When there's no more room in hell, the devil walked the earth. That's that memorable line?
exactly. That's all you
Well,
need to
that-
say.
but I
like,
mean,
I know. I'm just saying.
listen,
I just said-
Rhodes, the character of Rhodes in that movie is that whole movie. Like
Mhm.
every quote comes from him, everything memorable comes from him.
mhm.
Like he's the movie. Like
and
that's-
his two Stooges as well. I mean, come on, those guys. That whole trio. That's great. You telling me Flyboy and Ken Foree? You well,
Yes.
you're
yeah, that's exactly. I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now, that's like two of the best performances ever in a horror film.
I mean, the ending where it's like and then all of a sudden it's like she dreamt all the way to the island.
yeah. She was
Like,
asleep.
come on.
She hadn't slept in days.
and that was
I
going to lead
mean-
to Island of the Dead, but never
Yeah.
got made or whatever it
that's a
was.
shame too.
They're both great. I don't think it's. What was the reception in 2003 when that book came out? Was it available for people to see?
Yeah, Anchor Bay had
Yeah.
the DVD
Okay.
out very early on. Actually, I think probably 97 or 98 was the first year that they brought it out on DVD. So it'd been out a
Hey,
while.
Since we're talking about this though, CK, remember that time you went on that show and that one guy said that Zombie was better than all them movies? And
What
he
show?
wouldn't shut the fuck about it.
Hey, Carter just said that in the chat. Everybody in
Yeah.
the chat's
I-
chiming in.
yeah,
I think he actually said that Chud was better than Dawn of the Dead.
of course he did. That makes
What
sense.
show was this?
What,
It was on Dirk's channel,
Okay.
Subjective Perspective Collective. It was like a debate sort of thing, and
Okay.
it was something or another. I'll say that. You have to check it out. That was the same guy that also it was on one of Pizzell's shows. I think it was the Sausage Factory. No, it was Region Free. I think.
Alpha. Yeah, I said
What?
that just for you, man. I just wanted you to relive that moment.
He also said though that Hellraiser 2 is obviously better than the first Hellraiser, like it was a fact or something like that. I'm like,
Obviously,
it's basically a ripoff of Hellraiser. Like that's all it is. I mean, I like it, but yeah. Dead of Night from 1999, directed by Simon Hunter. I don't.
wait a minute.
don't
Which
know
one
this
is
one.
this?
don't
Oh,
know
I think that one I know under a title called Lighthouse.
yes, aka Lighthouse. It says.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. It's a group of people stuck on a little island. There's a killer. Starts taking people out one by one at this lighthouse. That has some good kills, some good direction. Is that a beloved movie? So I'm surprised it was on the list, but I liked it. It gets like a 4.79 to be, so I thought it was pretty decent, but
That's one I have never seen.
I wrote it down.
What year was that one you said?
99.
99. Yeah.
Now, Dead of Night was also the name for the Bob Clark movie, Death Dream. I think that's what I thought it was.
That's probably on this list here in a second.
I thought it was for a minute. I thought you were talking about the Richard Matheson one from '77. There's so many movies with that title.
Yeah.
So
The next one's a movie we're very familiar with, Uncle Bill. It's called The Dead Pit from 1988, directed
That's
by
not.
Brett Leonard.
That's not at all underrated, and nobody should see that movie.
The star of that movie is Cheryl Lawson's tits, and that's it.
100%.
Yeah, that movie sucks. It's not even a zombie movie, really. I mean, zombies are technically in it, but it's one of those deals where you just want it to fucking end.
The director's Lawnmower Man was way better than that movie. I'll say right here.
I think The Lawnmower Man 2 was better than that movie.
Job's War. Yeah.
Yes. It was more of a riveting film.
That's Dead Pit's pretty bad movie. Good website. Pretty bad movie.
That's right.
That's right.
yeah, I'd
Dead
rather
Waters.
watch, Virtuosity over that one.
Dead Waters.
Dead Waters,
Dead Waters.
a.k.a. Dark Waters.
The one with Jennifer
19
Connelly.
No, this is 1994 supernatural hauntings movie directed by Mariano Bano.
So this had to be the one that movie. What that they remake it or something?
No, you're thinking of
Dark Water.
Dark Waters was another Japanese movie that the Jennifer
And-
Connelly movie is based on, I think.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what this is.
I don't know
No.
what that one is.
Never seen it.
Not sure what it is.
I don't
either.
think this has any relation to those movies, but anybody in the chat know anything about Dead Water, aka Dark Water, let us know. But it says the movie was shot on the shores of Russia's Black Sea and was edited in Moscow. So it must, is it a Russian movie?
Yeah, it is.
Maybe that's why we don't know what the hell it is.
That's
Yes.
done, yeah.
UK and Russia. York Entertainment had the DVD of it out, so no wonder nobody knows what it is.
Somebody
Maybe.
said Severin put it out. Too.
Okay.
I might
Dirk
have to
was
look
saying
up then. Lovecraftian. Oh, that means I don't need to see it.
God.
Yeah, you remember what we used to get all these indie movies back in the day that was based on a Lovecraft thing. I was like, Uncle Bill, you can take that. Or we can mail it to J Reel or something. That's it. Look at shit.
Yeah, the only
Dan-
person that's ever successfully adapted those movies really is Stuart Gordon to a horror film franchise, in my opinion.
Right.
Mm.
Death Machine from 1995. Stephen Norrington. I think Rambo. Have you talked about this movie before?
Yeah, I'm a fan. Just came out on Blu-ray from
Kino.
Kino Lorber.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a good. How you would describe it, Mark? Like a
I would say Cyberpunk.
creature feature.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's Brad Dourif is the bad guy. Big evil, not Terminator like, but Metal Machine goes rampant in the building. Has a really cool direction, cool stylistic shots. Brad Dourif is good craze mode. It has a weird sense of humor, but I found it pretty funny. I really enjoy it. I thought it was very creative.
Sweet.
How about you, Mark?
Oh yeah, I love it. I'm just happy it finally came out. Forever, it never got like a proper release. Yeah, it's
You can hear me coming in corduroy pants. Well,
oh god.
Death
Scoopy.
Dream.
Fucking Zach started calling him Scoopy.
Scoopy. Here
Anyway,
you go, Uncle Bill. Death Dream, 1972, Bob Clark.
it's one of my favorite films. One of my favorite horror films. It's completely, still to this day, it's underrated. But Blue Underground has put it out on 4K now. So, like, I mean, it's known for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, very ahead of its time, I think. 1972, man. That's very early.
Yep.
So I like that movie.
Excellent war movie, or more about the, coming
The
back
effect-
from
the
war.
effects
Yeah.
of long-term effects. Deep Rising from 1998, directed by Steven Summers.
Personal
Love it.
favorite of mine. Yes, it's a lot of CG, but is used in an entertaining way. Tree Williams, I'm a fan of the guy. It's really his best role because it's just kind of a Han Solo type of just action fun character. Guns blasting, yeah, good supporting cast,
Yeah,
fun
fan-
action.
Emka Jensen and Jason Fleming, and it's really fun cast. Yeah,
It has the same energy as The Mummy, that adventure quality, which is the same director, but done with an R rating, couple of good gore moments. Like fun B movie creature feature.
yeah. The
And,
practical gore that is in there is really good.
Yeah, there's some good
Cool.
ones. People get spit up and like melted, and they find like a body pit, all these melted skeletons and stuff. And yeah, I mean, there is CGI, and it's 1998, so it's not the best, but it's like The Mummy, like it's the same era. I just still enjoy it because it's a fun energy to it, and it has a good cast. Famke Johnson, who's
Mhm.
hot, beautiful, beautiful lady, in that Famke Johnson. She can sit on my face any day.
Dude, let me tell you something. Back in the day with Goldeneye,
Mm.
Of course,
Oh yeah.
Lord, and House on Haunted Hill,
of
Mhm.
course,
God Almighty.
beautiful
Ugh.
lady.
Death by Temptation, boys. 1990, directed by James Bond III.
Yeah. Speaking of
Dean
James-
Hardison,
Yep.
James Bond the third.
Samuel L. Jackson. Didn't Vinegar Syndrome or
They
one of those-
did.
Okay. I thought that they brought it out.
Am I
finally.
missing something with that one? Why does everybody say like it's this super underrated like movie that's got all these cool things in it? It's a cult classic now.
I don't know.
I
I don't own it. I've never seen it.
It's a shitty trauma movie.
You're right.
Man, I never got into it.
Right. Isn't like Clarence Williams the third in, or am I thinking of a different movie?
He
Maybe.
might be. I think,
think-
isn't Samuel L. Jackson in there?
Samuel,
Yeah,
they do
yeah.
have him listed in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dentist from 1996. Brian Usna movie, Corbin Burnson. I watched this one, I think, when the Blu-ray came out. This is kind of a fun movie.
It puts me a lot in mind of like Dr. Giggles or something like that. Like it's the same, energy.
Same studio.
Yeah. So it's like I love any kind of movie like that.
Yeah.
Black comedy, horror, one-liner, fucking kind of movies.
Corbin Burnson really makes that film.
Yeah, I think so
Mhm.
too. I'm a big fan of Corbin Burnson, man. I think that he should have been in more shit.
Agreed.
Deranged from 1974.
It's a great.
This one's
movie.
definitely still underrated. Nobody talks about this
Yeah.
movie. It's
So
pretty
that's the-
damn.
The
It's
Klaus
Ed
Kinski
Gein.
one.
Now that one
Well-
with Robert Blossom,
Mm.
the old guy from
Home
Home Alone.
Alone.
So this is the Ed Gein one, right?
Onion Blossom. Yeah, whatever his name is.
Is this the Ed Gein deranged that you're talking about?
Well, it's like, I think it's loosely based on Ed Gein. He plays Ezra Cobb in the movie, and I mean it is a loose, it's loosely based on Ed Gein, I think, a little bit. But this was very early on. Alan Ormsby, who did, he worked with Bob Clark. What was the movie? Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, I think.
Yep.
So this was the follow up, I think, to that. I think this one's really, really good. Same year as Texas Chainsaw Massacre and everything. I need to revisit it.
It's very, very moody and atmospheric, and it's slow though. It's not
Mhm.
like it's not a.
Yeah, it's very psychological in that way. Yeah.
What was
I
his line in Christine, though, that we always mention? Uncle Bill's
Oh
fuck-
yeah, the only thing that smells better than a new car.
Except for pussy. The Devil's Backbone from Uncle Bill's favorite, Guillermo del Toro, 2001.
God, they've got a hard on for Del Toro on here.
Spanish. Well, it's Fangoria. Yeah, Fangoria always has. Fangoria and Rue Morgue both, actually.
Haven't seen it.
I
They
like
put-
it.
I don't think I've ever seen it either. I remember them putting the movie over hardcore
Yeah.
in one of those documentaries that I really liked, but I think it may have been that Masters of Horror that Dave Parker and Mike Mendez did. They may have talked about it in that.
What about the Devil's Dick Bone? That's a good one.
The Devil's, yeah.
Listen.
Uncle Bill, look, you gotta watch it. If you
I
haven't
ain't-
seen
no,
it,
no.
you like ghost movies. I think
I'm
you
not.
like
Well, I'm
this.
not watching any of his shit. No.
Uncle
It's,
Bill, now come on.
It's a kid's ghost story as well.
One of you bubs went out. The Devil's Backbone moves over to the Devil's Daughter, aka the Sect, from 1990.
I swear I thought you were going to say the sex.
The Sex. with the
I haven't
Devil's
seen that one
Daughter.
though. That's a very generic title, Devil's Daughter. Like
Yeah, that sounds like an Iron Maiden song or something.
the Devil Daughter.
Mikel Suave movie. I don't know if I've ever seen. I own it back there. It's one that I've never cracked open.
Who released it?
It was Italian originally. I think
I think Scorpion. did it.
Severin. Yeah, Scorpion did it first, and then Severin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wait, we got a super chat. Did you get this one yet?
No.
Not yet.
All right. Anyone see that movie Combat Shock? I thought that was a decent trauma. That's one of my favorite trauma films, and I cannot find it on anything now because it's sold out. Like,
Really?
who released it? Was it Severin Mark that released
I
that?
think I thought it was Vinegar. Wasn't it Vinegar Syndrome? I
thought it
could be
was Severin.
wrong.
Okay.
It's
I don't
one
know.
of the two.
One of the one of
Combat
them.
Shock was Severin, I think. It was like a limited thing. It's sold out now.
So here's the thing. I've heard good things about Combat Shock. I've never seen it. So what is it that makes it better than other trauma films?
It's basically a Vietnam kind of ripoff of Eraserhead.
It was one of those movies that Trauma
Okay.
just, I think they just distributed. I don't think they had anything really to do with it.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. Yeah, it's Buddy G, and if you've seen any of his movies, his stuff is very
Buddy G. Is he related to
Buddy
Kenny G?
Giovinazzo.
Buddy G.
Buddy G of an asshole.
Yep. That's how-
Buddy
that's how it's
Gingivitis.
pronounced.
There you go.
Dolls from 1987. This one I still think is an underrated one, guys. I actually revisited this one not too awful long ago. It holds up, man. It's very 80s. It's very
yeah.
well made, beautifully shot and everything. Stuart Gordon, all that. What are your thoughts on Dolls?
I enjoyed Dolls. That's one of the early memories I have with horror films, especially the effects. The whole person picked up their eyeballs and all the weird stuff. It's weird, like it's gory, but it's also kind of a family film in a weird way. So
Yeah.
it has an interesting
It is. You're right.
balancing act. Like that weird, like bear, but it's like a werewolf bear thing out of nowhere. And yeah, I always enjoyed it. It's a Brian Yuzna film, a bit one of his more underrated ones. So
It's
I
almost
agree.
like a kid's horror movie too, kinda.
Yeah.
I think that may have been one of the first like VHS horror films that I watched, and I think that's why I still like it because it's like nostalgia for me. I mean, they've released it again, you know, on that Arrow set and everything, and I think Scream Factory had it out before that, and it's been out a bunch of different times. I think a lot of people kind of took to it because they like Chucky kind of movies, but yeah, I always kind of had a soft spot for that movie.
Let's quickly go through Event Horizon. I know you all fucking jacket movies.
Oh, we ain't going to quickly go through Event Horizon.
1997.
What is your
I love
fucking
it.
deal with that? I want to know what. it
Dude,
is
I
about
tried to
it.
watch it again. I just tried. It's boring as fuck. I can't help it.
With an F
No.
on fuck.
I have no
Boring.
words to express it.
And
Fuck.
Is it? Is it?
It really
boring? No.
is. It
It's
really
a spaceship that goes to hell. Is that really that boring?
in Sam Neill's world, it's very, very boring.
I was gonna say Sam Neill. That's what it is.
Not only Sam Neill, but Lawrence Fishburne too, who I'm not really a huge fan of either. Fuck him.
God Almighty!
Are these good
There's
actors?
a lot coming out here.
A lot of people like Event Horizon, not me. Not a
That's
fan.
cool.
Well, good for you, buddy. I like it a lot.
Well, let's move on. We've spent enough time on it. The Evil Within, aka Baby Blood from 1990.
Baby blood.
I'm unfamiliar with this one.
I don't remember that one either.
I think that one was a Kino release.
It's a French movie, it says.
Yeah, I remember it being pretty bloody. God, that was because I think that's one that like Garrett recommended.
I think
not
I've heard
bad.
people say that it's really gory and shit.
Yeah,
I remember one called Baby Blues that was like that one's
Oh
underrated.
yeah,
Nobody ever talks about that movie.
that movie's never coming back out. That's why. Nobody's
No,
gonna
I
pick
guarantee
that
it.
up.
But that movie's fucking killer.
I've got the DVD. It is actually, yeah, that's one that we should do like something on at some point. Yeah, it's a good one.
So what is Baby Blues? Since we don't know what Baby Blue is.
So it's basically the story of a woman who you think kind of has postpartum depression and goes like insane and starts murdering everybody.
It's loosely based on that chick, Andrea Yates or something, or she.
Andrea Yates, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is not that old of a movie, right? It's probably 15
No, we're
years old.
talking early 2000s, probably mid 2000s.
2002, somewhere around there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go back to Event Horizon.
It's the best
No,
movie Paul W.S. Anderson ever made, in my opinion.
Was that really saying a whole lot though?
No,
It is.
it's really not.
What's WS stand for, by the way?
Wild Stallions.
That'd be killer.
He should say that. Just to be...
Paul Wild Stallions Anderson boys. The Exorcist 3 from 1990, William Peter Blatty. I like
would-
it.
Yeah. I wouldn't
I
call it underrated.
Yeah, I don't think
nowadays.
it's underrated either.
But sorry, go ahead. You were saying.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying, even then, I don't know how underrated it was because it seems like to me that this was a pretty popular one in video stores back in the day, and it definitely. I mean, I don't know if it made as much money as Exorcist 2, but I think it definitely saved the franchise up to that point at least.
I mean, it's not underrated at all now. It's like Halloween 3 level almost, like the people that talk about it now. So
Mhm.
it is a great movie, though. I gotta say, like, I mean,
George C. Scott once again.
C.
Like you
Scott,
guys were
yep.
saying his acting.
and
Brad
the other guy,
Brad
Uh,
Dourif.
yeah, Brad Dourif's great in it, but the other guy too, the guy that plays
Jason Miller.
No, the guy that plays the priest that he's always talking to.
Oh, yeah.
ends up like,
Patrick
he's
Ewing
great.
is in it. He's great in it.
And Fabio's
Fabio's
great in
in it. Yeah.
it. Patrick Ewing is fuck. That's one of the most.
Without
about
without a beard or anything, too.
Yeah, you feel like you're really dreaming.
Babyface Patrick Ewing.
When you see Patrick Ewing and like his angel wings, you're like, this movie is fucked. Like this is really.
Yeah, I always liked Exorcist 3. Oh, real quick, shout out to Dirk. He just mentioned it in the chat. The baby is making her kill for baby blood.
Baby blues or baby blood?
Blood. It's
Baby blood.
it's a creature that's like crawls in her badge and makes
Okay,
her kill.
I'm gonna pick this movie up now. Who's got that out?
It's the vaginal
I think
creature.
I think it's Kino. I'm pretty sure it's Kino.
Buying that.
Some trivia though for you. Exorcist 3, did you know that John Carpenter was approached as one of the several directors to direct
Yeah.
the movie? So that would have been kind of, that almost feels like a Carpenter movie, really.
It does. It's in that same vein as Prince of Darkness or something like that.
Yeah, I read the end. There was an interview. He had issues dealing with William Peter Blatty, which pretty much he wanted to direct, and then he ended up directing it. So that's why Carpenter left.
How about from 1986? It's based on a story by H.P. Lovecraft, Uncle Bill. From Beyond.
I guess it was underrated, but probably not now. It is a great Stuart Gordon movie, a great cast. It's basically the same cast as
Great
Reanimator.
effects.
With Ken Forey running around in his fucking underwear, and like Barbara Crampton in dominatrix gear. Like I don't know what else you really want out of a film.
Great effects too, man.
Dude with the worm, yeah, the
Doesn't Sean Clark own that fucking, what is it called?
what? The dominatrix suit, probably.
No, that big fucking, god damn it, what is it called? I'm drawing a blank. The big machine thing.
Oh, he probably does. Yeah,
I don't know what you
I
call it.
actually-
think he does.
I don't remember that.
Super chat.
I'll be right back.
Lucas Green.
Dip it up, Bill. Would you guys be okay if you could do some voice lines on your stream for me for a film project I'm doing for Matt?
They're small lines.
Yeah,
Sure.
not?
Stick around and we'll do them. They're like, fuck you, son.
Ah, yeah,
fuck
the
you.
Resonator. That's what it was called.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
From Beyond, 1986, Stuart Gordon. Yeah, it wasn't out on anything on disc at this point in time, so this would have been, it would have been for sure underrated back then. Unless you had the videotape, you could watch it. Funny Games from 1997, the OG.
But
Fuck
that shit.
no.
No, that's an overrated one.
That's an
Austrian
overrated
Germany.
fucking piece of shit movie. Yeah.
I've only seen the remake, which is not that great either.
No.
Michael Hanke.
It's like that whole movie's just based around the concept of breaking the fourth wall and like a bunch of bullshit. Like it's just art house avant
That,
garde.
yeah, that director is full of shit. Fuck him. He's like,
So no, Michael
Because-
Hanke.
yeah, because he's like, well, I made it purposely because you're not supposed to like it. If you liked it, you're the problem. Like this art house, pretentious
Mm-hmm.
fuckhead.
He enjoys smelling his own
mentality.
farts.
He does. And he deserves it.
Ginger
He's a-
Ginger Snaps. This one was a pretty new movie at this point in time.
Oh yeah.
John Fawcett. What happened to John Fawcett? Is he doing anything anymore?
No.
I think he did the sequels, but that was it. Anyway.
Ginger Snaps is one of those movies where, like, I mean, I guess it's okay, but I never marked out for it like a lot of people did. Like Mark marks out for it because it's got,
Oh yeah,
Path of Near the
Yeah.
Bell, baby.
that's right.
yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of people that really love that movie, and I was just kind of like, eh.
I think they like it a lot for her. Like,
Mhm.
and it is like for werewolf movies and stuff, it is kind of cool. It's something a little bit different.
Yeah, I love the effects. It's set around Halloween. Yeah, I think it's okay. Not bad at all.
I'm looking up what he's done. He's mainly TV work for shows I've never heard of, including oh no, that that superhero movie show Titans with like the Robin who's like the emo and all this stuff. So that's what he's doing. No more horror, just TV shows. Yeah, Ginger Snaps was just there for me. I'm with Uncle Bill on this one. Kind of like, I like her. Did she get naked in it?
No, she's never gotten naked. I don't think there's stunt titties in Freddy versus Jason.
Super young in that though. I don't think she could have gotten naked.
Stunt titties.
Yeah, well, I mean, she could have in Freddy versus Jason though, and they were not hers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Lucas with another super chat. Oh yeah, this is for our lines, Uncle B. You ready? I got to say this intimidatingly. Hey Matt, we don't like your attitude.
Your line, your species always flap your gums before providing approval papers. It's tradition.
How's that? Hey Matt, we don't like your attitude, boy.
Boy.
Boy. Got a bad attitude, brother. Drink some all-American beer, man.
Lucas is a nice guy. For those who know, he made this whole Tremors 2 movie where he put me in it as a star. They like drew like over 100 drawings, which was insane.
Holy shit.
And
It's actually
Yeah.
killer.
that was pretty cool. So thank you, Lucas. That's really nice of you. That's humbling.
This is a weird movie here. It's pretty hard to track down now because this guy got into trouble, boys.
Oh no.
You did.
I remember the songs to this day because it's so fucking annoying. And it like something like, "This is what you want. This is what you get.
What you get?
This is what,
This
you,
is
want.
what you want.
Suck on the balls."
Hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah. From 1990.
Richard
Dick
Stanley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another movie I totally did not get the love for it. Watched it. It was just kind of like,
I don't think anybody gets any of his shit though. Like all his shit's just so weird. Didn't he do Dust Devil as well?
Yeah, he did.
who put that out? Was it Subversive? One of them companies
Yeah,
put that out.
I think
on
it's been
DVD back in the day.
re-released. But yeah, Subversive, that was one of their big releases back in the day. But yeah, the Hardware Blu-ray came out from Severin and it's out of print now and it'll probably never come back out because Richard Stanley got in trouble, right? It was, I don't know exactly what it was, but
What did he
Something,
do?
some sort of allegations against him, you know.
He is insane. I mean, that would make sense.
I don't
Whatever
know exactly what it was, but it's some sort of
He's been canceled.
yeah.
Oh, good. Glad he was canceled. He's kind of annoying.
The next one is a guy that we interviewed. Uncle Bill directed this movie. Tom DeSimone. You better pray for Day because it's Hell Night.
It's a great
Nice.
slasher. It's a great Linda Blair titties out slasher.
Mhm.
Linda Blair, man, in that movie. Whew.
To be honest, one of the few things Linda Blair has done that's been worth a shit.
You like Savage
Well-
Streets, don't you?
Yeah, I don't mind it, but it's you could probably think maybe 5 tops she's been in that's worth it. Maybe
Mhm.
it wasn't that new
Uh,
Exorcist movie.
That's true.
Summer
but
of
I
Fear's
mean,
pretty good. Have you ever seen that one, the Wes Craven TV movie?
No,
That's not bad, but I'm big into those 70s like horror, like
Okay.
well, it's not really a horror, but satanic. Like during around the Satanic Panic era in the late 70s, there's a bunch of shit that came out.
don't forget about Caged Heat.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That one's amazing. Also, that movie interestingly has a character in it called Gorked Out Andrew, which is like the monster killer in it that looks exactly like the killer in Prey. The Prey that we just reviewed. I mean, it's almost exact. Like, so I don't know who ripped off who. I guess when did
Well,
Hell
this
Night come
was-
out?
81,
This
I
was
think.
yeah.
And then they ripped off Hell Night. Yeah.
Well, the
Mm.
Prey, the story with Prey though is it was shot in the 70s and they didn't finish it until like 83 or 84. So who knows?
Yeah, that is right.
What about the next one though? We're gonna go through. We're doing good on this, man. For 101 fucking movies, we're about halfway through, maybe a little bit over. Well, maybe close to halfway. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Love it.
well,
John
Yeah, I
McNaughton.
mean,
yeah, well acted. Michael Rooker is very steery in that movie.
Mhm.
It's a well-made movie, man. It's not one that I want to go back and rewatch very much, though. It's one
No.
of those.
As soon as it comes on, I mean, it's got that credits like where it's all black. You got your credits popping up, but then that music kicks in, and every
I was going to
time
say that music creeps me out when I
It does.
saw it. It's very simple, but very. It's stupid to say real, but that's what like the movie felt more real than some of those other ones. Even like I like Silence of the Lambs, but Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer just felt more creepier. I don't know if that
yeah,
makes sense.
I mean, it's almost like one of those damn toe tag pictures movies or something. Kind of the way that it's filmed, you feel like it's like really happening.
right.
Yeah, it's a great movie, but like CK was saying, it's not one that I want to go back and watch. It's not like a happy, kind of
Yeah, not a feel-good movie.
feel good,
Yeah, not to give away that ending is really just, but I mean, realistic in a way. I mean,
Yeah.
it's effective.
The Horror Express from 1972.
Christopher
Gino
Lee,
Martin.
and Peter,
pushing.
Cushing.
And Telly Savalas.
Yeah,
as well.
it's kind of an early version of The Thing because it's like the two of them working together. They're on a train, and then there's this alien, but he like possess people one by one, so you don't know who is. I keep wanting to say The Thing, but who is not. It's a lot better than I make it sound like. It's definitely a well acted, kind of like a Kolchak the Night Stalker episode type of thing. I would say
Okay.
that's the best way to describe it.
It's
think
been
s-
a long time since I've seen it. I just remember like the glowing eyes, and doesn't he
Yeah.
like it? It takes your memory or something?
Yeah,
Like
when
that?
because it'll like go from one bite to another, and then
Yeah.
pretty much what you said. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I've got that from, I think Severin might have done the Blu-ray of that. Humanoids from the Deep from 1980.
God damn. Roger Corman trash about like creatures that impregnate women.
yeah.
It's everything you want in a movie like the
The-
Roger Corman horror.
They've got
movie.
the tagline here. They're not human, but they hunt human women, not
Yep.
for killing, for mating.
Mhm.
Yep,
Oh yeah,
it's a fun movie.
And slaughter all the men.
They
and that was
should,
it.
they should have redid the tagline. They're not human, but they want to fuck.
And that's interesting because that's I believe directed by a woman.
It
That
is
people would assume the other
Barbara
way.
Peters.
Sorry,
Swear.
that's a
I believe
cheap
ya.
pop.
Day of the Woman,
Uh.
aka I Spit on Your Grave.
Well, let's talk
From
in depth
19.
about this one for about 35 minutes if we could. Could we do that?
I don't think we could do that, but
I can't.
Let's talk.
no.
It's one of Rambo's favorite feel good movies of the summer.
It's a very well made movie, but it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
anything that I would want to watch at all. I
True.
I would be fine never watching that movie.
Do you
again.
own that one, CK?
I do.
Oh.
I've got the. Who did the 4K when they redid it? Which
I
the
think that
transfer on
company,
that is fucking nuts. It looks
what is that?
amazing.
What is that one company that barely released? Ronin. Ronin
Yeah,
Flicks
Ronin
did-
Flicks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's one of those deals too where you're shocked at how good it looks. Like I don't understand it. But
It's an amazing transfer. You're right.
they did
It's
a great
just that
job.
that's a movie where I don't know about anybody else. I can't like go back and rewatch that movie a ton of times. I mean, I respect it for what it did, like for like kind of how it was and everything that they had the balls to do all that, literally and figuratively. But like, it's not a movie you go back to and are like, oh well. Some people go back to it over and over.
Well, no.
over.
Well, I think the unsung hero of this movie too is Charles Band, and he don't get the credit, right? Because the initial release of this film, it was released as Day of the Woman. Nobody saw it. It didn't have any buzz or anything. And then they did the re-release, renamed it, did that poster that everybody knows with, I think it's Demi Moore's ass, which is a big draw as well.
that's what I want to say. I wrote disagree. I'm like, Demi Moore's the unsung hero because her picture.
Well,
That's what I thought he was gonna say. She was the
right.
son
But if
hero.
it wasn't for Charles Band,
Right, I don't know.
yeah,
Mhm.
he was the one that hooked. But yeah, I mean, definitely a legendary movie. Can't deny that. What?
Sorry,
Oh,
somebody talked to on your grave.
dude, are you guys just not sick to death of seeing that fucking girl everywhere?
I avoid her.
Yeah, I'm
Holy
done.
shit!
That was over with about 5 minutes after it started. So
What girl?
the Hawk Tua girl.
Spit on that thing.
I'll be honest. I don't know who that
She
is.
stole Iron
Well,
Sheik's gimmick.
Keep it
I-
that way. Yeah,
Oh,
you're
I'll
better
keep-
off.
Bless you
Good.
then. That's all I'm going to say. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 1978 version.
It's a great,
Um,
Oh yeah.
great film.
Would you say it was underrated? No, I thought it was a big hit when it came out.
I
wouldn't
don't think it's
say-
underrated. Yeah, like it's just. I mean, I think everybody knew about that film even when it came out. Like it was pretty well known.
I wouldn't say underrated, but yeah, good cast.
Maybe
Um,
overlooked a bit just because there were so many different versions of that story done after that one. So,
But it's pretty popular. I mean, there's some
Yeah.
Donald Sutherland, may he rest in peace. Jeff Goldblum. There's some recognizable
Yeah.
stuff in it.
Great
The ending.
actors in that. Yeah.
Uncle Billy got
Uh,
a super chat, boys.
Let's see. Could I please say you're not allowed for? Oh hell, I was almost like say it like in Troll 2. You're not allowed.
Yeah.
Can't
Get
piss
the
off
fuck
the crowd.
off my property.
Hey, there was another super chat. Freddie Lit. I can't click on it. Have you heard of this Lovecraft story where a guy travels through horrific dreams to try to find this tentacle
Shit, we missed
god
that one.
and involves cats? No, but hope it was a. Nah, I doubt CK's into Lovecraft. From what I understand.
He loves.
Now, if I see the
Lovecraft.
word Lovecraft, I'm like, nah. Let's go somewhere else.
Jeez says a big pussy. Maybe it's the echo.
All right, now this one I'm not familiar with at all. It's a New Zealand movie, a killer slasher movie. Jack Be Nimble. Jack was the death of his family.
Oh,
1994, directed by Garth Maxwell.
Garth Brooks. That's what I was thinking.
Jack Be Nimble.
Oh,
Yeah, that starred the lesser known Arquette, right? Like Alexis Arquette, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I've heard of it. I remember the cover, seeing that all the time. Jack Be Nimble.
I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't even remember the cover.
It's
no,
not
it's from
bad.
New Zealand. Holy
yeah,
shit, Mark has seen it.
Yeah, it's
Mark's got the German boxing.
it's got some supernatural elements to it, but it's not bad. It's most definitely worth a watch, I'll say.
Is it more of a gory movie or is it more of an atmospheric movie? Is it more of something else? Character movie?
I would say a little bit in between. Not it's got some violent stuff in it though, that's for sure. Without giving it away.
What about Jack's Back with James Spader, directed by Rowdy Harrington?
Let me tell you
There's
something.
gonna be
Let me tell you
there's gonna be
something.
split. There's gonna be split.
I watched that fucking
I
piece
know.
of shit.
Yeah,
movie.
piece of shit.
No,
Make it
Rambo.
fam
Ain't no
club
fucking
here.
way.
Make it
That's
2.0.
that's an hour and a half long of fucking
That-
James Spader just walking around and be like,
That's killer.
I'm
James
James
Spader is the
Spader.
man.
Fuck you.
I'm James Spader. I'm a fucking
Spader don't allow this hating going on. It's Spader, man.
I don't
You
know if
gotta
I've
respect
ever.
the Spader. God
What was some
damn it.
good
No,
movies that Spader
I
was in?
respect Spader. Listen, he was great
Tough
in,
Turf.
he was great in Tough Turf. He's also great in
Mannequin.
St. Elmo's. What is that one where
Mannequin.
he's a fucking prick?
The New Kids,
Like all of them.
the Sean Cunningham
Now that I
movie.
think about it. Oh fuck! Maybe it was St. Elmo's Fire. I can't remember which one it was. He's always a prick in like every film.
He was
He's
a
always
mannequin
good.
as well.
Was he a mannequin?
He is.
Yeah, he was like the prick in the store with G.W. Bailey. Going up
Jesus, his fucking career.
I'm more
gone.
of a fan of Mannequin 2 on the Move.
Oh,
my
for
favorite.
fuck's
That
sake.
was great.
Mannequin 2. God
Uh,
damn.
But as far as that movie goes, no. Fuck
Yes.
that movie.
No. Movie's good.
Mark, you're the
It's fun.
tiebreaker in this. What do you think?
I don't mind Jack's Pack. I like James Spader, so
Fuck.
I like the
watch it.
mystery of it.
Watch it.
I watch it.
All right, how about The Keep from 1983? It's still, it's never been out on anything since the VHS, right?
Because Michael Mann's a fucking asshole. Because he's like a crybaby when it's not that bad of a movie. It really isn't that bad. The guy made Black Cat the most boring Chris Hemsworth film, and that's saying a lot. You made a lot worse, dude. It's got good atmosphere. It's got Scott Glenn, Ian McKellen, got good cast, has some good lighting. It was flawed film, but The Keep's not that bad of a movie. It's pretty decent atmosphere, at least.
yeah, there's
Let
a
it
ton of footage that we'll never get a real release, but there's
Yeah.
so much stuff that was shot for it. We'll never see that stuff, even if we do get some, bare bones release of it.
Yeah, Sleepy did say that Michael Mann wanted to do a director's cut, but Paramount's not willing to pony up the money for it, evidently.
Mm.
And he won't let them release the theatrical cut. Maybe it's, I don't know. Kingdom of the Spiders from 1977. We've got a review of that
I
coming up.
just watched that. That's
Yeah.
what was funny. William Shatner running around, stealing all the scenery, chewing it up, fucking tarantulas. I mean, it's actually a pretty fun movie. As is Food of the Gods, which is another one that I was going to review too, which is like a great stupid movie. Same kind of movie, really.
It's interesting when you watch that, like how many real spiders they kill that they would not do today. Like wide shots where they're just running over tarantulas in their cars.
Well, back then, nobody gave a fuck, man. That's the thing. Like, this is
Yeah.
like the late 70s.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
They didn't give a shit at all.
they
Yeah.
kind of gave a shit in the U.S. They didn't give a shit at all in like Italy or any of them like Asian films around that early 80s. No, they were killing everything. Like they just fucking didn't even care.
Going on, what about Layer the White Worm? That's actually on the cover of this book. 1988, Ken Russell, who's made all kinds of bizarre fucking movies. Layer the White Worm. Any thoughts on that one?
I haven't seen it in years. I have no idea anymore.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I know there's quite a bit of comedy in it. It's got some cool visuals. That one's a very, very divisive movie. I can't see a lot of people liking that one or putting
Has
it
a
over.
has a young Hugh Grant in it.
Yep.
Mhm.
He's the only person I know in it.
Oh.
The Last House on the Left from 1972. I think at this point in time when this book came out, it says the DVD was available through MGM, but for a long time there, it was pretty much impossible to find this movie.
It is, I don't know if you could say it's the best exploitation film, but it's like, I don't know, it's like the Citizen Kane of exploitation.
I think it's
film.
Wes Craven's best movie, man. I still to this day, like, I know that people are like, what the fuck? But like,
I think never mind.
Rambo loves it.
It's one of those movies that, like, if for me, from the very first viewing of it, like, I instantly remembered almost everything from the fucking movie. It was like,
Yeah.
it was
Same.
effective.
You know,
thought it
in
was-
private, Rambo's told me that he wants to be buried with a copy of that movie, and
I
I
think
spit on your grave. But
I think that film is dog shit. I do. I will rather watch the remake 10 times over that. I hate that movie. That the stupid cops, with the comedy and the chicken coops, it was so much of a tonal shift. I like the music, but goddamn, like other than that one actor, the acting sucks, and it's like the comedy's
Well,
out of nowhere.
Here's the thing, too, that there's rumors, and I think it's more than a rumor because there's certain scenes that have gotten out that Last House on the Left was originally a porno movie. And
Really?
a lot of the actors that's in the movie were porn actors, like
yeah,
not the Mary Collingwood girl, the other girl that's with her. She was a porn actress. And that guy that played Weasel was a porn actor. And we interviewed Mark Scheffler about it, and he didn't deny it. And there's a scene where these girls are going at it that got out. So we'll probably never find out. But Wes Craven did porn movies before as well, so he was doing that around this time. So I think that's an interesting little tidbit that nobody talks about when it comes to that movie.
anyway, Rambo loves it. I mean,
Oh, well, okay. And honestly, would you say you like the comedy, or
No.
does it fit?
comedy. Here's the weird thing about movies that were around that time. A bunch
Yeah.
of movies did this shit too, right?
Okay.
So they would. And Italians were kind of famous for this as well, especially in giallos, where like the movie was so dead serious and gruesome that they would purposely put comedic scenes in it to try to like make you feel like uplifted during the movie. And the
Uh-huh.
music is the same way. So the music was kind of meant to like make it less, make the scenes less kind of fucking, torturous to watch, like when they're breaking out of the jail and all that stuff, and that banjo music's playing and all that. It's like that was supposed to be a goofy kind of attempt to lighten up the movie before they went through all this other stuff.
Right.
And like it fails miserably because it just makes the film even more kind of like disturbing to watch because it's so jarring that this stuff happens and you're kind of like completely lulled into this sense it's going to be one way, and then all these horrible scenes start to happen, like after this silly ass scene of them all making out in the car and all that.
Mm-hmm.
We did just hit 200
Yep.
viewers live. So a big shout out for everybody checking us out. And don't forget to like it and share it with your family, friends, and neighbors. Legend of Hell House from 1973, director John Hogue, written by Richard Matheson. Any memories? This Roddy McDowell.
Is that Roddy McDowell? That's a great movie. That's a really underappreciated movie. Yeah.
That one is definitely underrated. Remember watching that one as a kid. Very effective scenes, some good atmosphere too. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Who has that out now?
That was Scream Factory, wasn't it? Or
Yeah, I've got it. I've got the old Scream Factory. I think it's a Blu-ray. Might be a
Yeah, it was
fucking
a Blu-ray.
DVD. Yeah. Okay.
It was
I
a
might
Blu-ray.
wait on somebody else to do that then. That's how I do, boys. Cool.
It's a good old-fashioned haunted house movie. Roddy McDowell's really good in it.
Mm-hmm.
Now this
Was there
one, I'm
anything that Roddy McDowell wasn't good in? Like, think about it. Like every movie he was in, like
What was that
Was it-
movie with Brad Pitt cutting class?
Oh yeah, he's in that as the
Oh,
principal.
you may be right. You may have stumbled on
He's
something
like
there.
trying to look at Jill Schoen's ass and that, which I can't blame him. This one's pretty good. This one's definitely still underrated for sure. Lamora, A Child's Tale of Supernatural. I think it's Don May Jr.'s most requested 4K. And unfortunately, I think the source material is lost or whatever he said. And we may not even get it on Blu-ray ever, but a beautifully made movie.
That movie is the closest to Argento that I've ever seen anybody get to that. To something similar to that. The use of colors and the use of like visuals rather than like narrative kind of storytelling. It's a great movie. I
They
wish it
have
would come out.
It says it's a mix of Alice in Wonderland and Night of the Living Dead, which is pretty perfect, actually.
Yep.
Mhm.
What year did that come out?
73.
Yeah.
God,
Gotta
I
look
can't
that
believe
up.
it's that old, really.
That's
Okay.
insane. Yeah, I think the Lamora, the girl that played Lamora, passed away. That's how old it is. She's no longer around. And this one, man, I can't put this one over enough. I'm shocked it's actually in here. Let Sleeping Corpses Lie, aka The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue, and Don't Open the Window. It's known by multiple names, but
Don't open the window.
don't.
What a
open the
horrible
window.
name.
Whatever you do.
Fucking breeze got in here.
It's a Spanish/Italian production, I think. Spanish filmmaker George Grau, Ray Lovelock, who's in all kinds of shit around this time, Italian movies and stuff, I think. But yeah, ever since I watched the movie originally, I just fell in love with the atmosphere of it, and it was one of the very early zombie movies in color. This was 1974. Lots of good gore and everything too. May have been the first zombie movie with like pig guts and stuff like that in it, where they did that for the first time. But yeah, I always loved that movie. Great atmospheric zombie.
It's weird because that movie came out before Dawn of the Dead, right?
Yes.
And it
74.
had like the more realistic kind of gore scenes and like blood and all that. I mean, it was much more realistic than Dawn in terms of those kind of things. It's bizarre to me that movie came out so early and was so ahead of its time with that too.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Synapse Films one is the one to go with.
Definitely.
I just wish, like, the only gripe, and it's just, I don't know, it's probably me overreacting, but I love the Let Sleeping Corpses Lie name, and they've always went with Living Dead at Manchester Morgue, which, I mean, it's the movie, it is what it is, but I wish somebody to re-release it as Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. I would mark out for that. How about Let's Scare Jessica to Death from 1971?
Yep. That's another one too, though, that I think is I can see why people would not like that movie. It's very slow. It's
Mhm.
very much an atmospheric kind of movie. Like it's not an action thriller or anything like that. But I mean, if you're into that kind of like atmospheric, slow burn style movie, then you'll like it.
And even more so because it's like it's early 70s slow burn, so that's a whole nother level of slow burn.
Right.
But it's good though.
Has there been like a special edition of that out? I'm trying to think. Like, I don't know if I have anything. I have a DVD of it.
Somebody put that.
Yeah, I
Might
want to
look
say
that
there
up.
is a Blu-ray of that.
Look it up, baby.
Let's scare Jessica.
I think it's Scream Factory.
Of course it is.
That's why I don't want to get it then. Most of the stuff that I don't have is from Scream Factory.
It's so killer.
I just hate those motherfuckers so much.
Let's see. Is it out? It's got to be out on Blu-ray. So yeah, it's out on a Blu-ray from Scream Factory.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
How about from 1990, Luther the Geek? I don't like this movie.
I don't much like it either, but it's a movie that I saw when I was a kid that fucking like traumatized me. Like whenever that movie came out and was on video, for some reason, that was one of the movies that I picked out, you know, in one of the excursions to go out to like a video store with my dad. And like it just traumatized because like there's whole scenes of him like biting the heads off chickens and things like that. And it's I think it's a trauma movie, right? And then Vinegar Syndrome picked it up. But it just always stuck with me like because of that experience. It's not a good movie though. I mean, it's not fun.
Yeah,
or
it's got a
anything to
few
watch.
effective scenes, but even after I got the Vinegar Syndrome release and I rewatched it again for probably it's been ages, it didn't really have the same effect. So I agree with you, Uncle Phil.
Got coming up next another Michael Mann movie from 1986, Manhunter. And man, Like, I really like this is a very slow burn movie, but it's such a beautifully made movie. And
Yeah.
William Peterson is just a killer fucking act. I think he's another one that's like crazy underrated actor that he never really had, like, what was it, CSI show or something where he
Yeah,
was,
that was his big break. Yeah,
but
CSI.
never a big movie role, which he totally deserved. He should be a household name because of movies.
I think that like one of my favorite performances in any movie is him in To Live and Die in L.A. too.
Oh yeah.
Like I think that that's a great performance as well. He's great in this too. He's basically playing the same type of
Pat
Role.
Garrett, man. Pat Garrett. He's killer in that too.
Oh yeah.
Pat Garrett. Yeah,
Yeah, he was also the dad in Fear, go up against Marty Bart.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about.
That's a good one, man. I watched that one not
Yeah.
too long ago.
I like that one, and I like Manhunter. I mean, of course, people know it's. I wouldn't say it's. Would you say it's underrated? Maybe at the time, I don't know.
yeah.
I think it's still probably underrated.
I was going to say I still think it is because it kind of got overshadowed by all the Silence of the Lambs and Red Dragon
Yeah.
and all that.
Now, Manhunter 4K would be amazing. Like, that's out of print. Like, the Scream Factory Blu-ray is going for big money. So hopefully somebody else will re-release it. Imagine a big Arrow special edition of that in 4K.
That would be
Badass.
sweet.
But yeah, Manhunter is so good, and it made me appreciate so much more when that awful Red Dragon came out. That was like it was like based on the same novel, and I'm like, I get what it was trying to do, but it just made me go how Manhunter was just so much better
Mhm.
atmosphere and directed and acted.
That's still
I
one
just-
of his better looking movies, despite
Yeah,
what
Yeah.
you just said. Red Dragon.
What about Maniac from 1980? Definitely, I think any horror fan, if you've been around for any period of time, you should have seen Maniac.
I was going to say though, yeah. I mean, that poster makes that movie almost like impossible to ignore or impossible to be underrated.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
It's one of
I
my
laugh-
favorite posters.
I laugh because anytime I think of this, I think of my buddy. It's like the funniest story when he told me. So one day he brought a date home, and his mom was watching Maniac, and the girlfriend. Because his mom likes these type of horror films. She loves that stuff. So he's with the girl, and it's like, hey, what's your mom watching? Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, let me see what it is. And then she saw the scene with the times of he get his head blown up.
Mhm.
She walked out the door and never saw him again. It's like, yeah, you wanted to see it.
Didn't like Savini put garbage and shit or like rotten apples and stuff in his.
Yeah.
That's so killer. Worked.
There's very few movies though where I think that somebody gives a performance that I would legitimately think could win like an Oscar. And I think that Spinell's performance in that is like one of those movies. Like
Yeah.
you really feel like that guy is out of his mind. Like he's just
You almost feel like you can smell him too. Like he just,
yeah. It's just
he's disgusting looking.
yeah.
How about Maniac Cop 2, another Bill Lustig movie? Which is the one that has the fucking parade? Is that the first movie or the second?
First movie. The first
Okay,
movie.
yeah.
Bruce
I don't like the
Campbell.
first movie. I'm not a parade guy. Robert,
What?
I remember that. I remember you mentioned that. Yeah.
I've never been a fan of parades.
I remember.
He don't like candy being thrown at him or anything. He's like
Robert
like,
Robert Davi was in the second and the third one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
From the Goonies, of course.
I never
course.
liked any of those. If I'm being really honest, like I'm just not a fan of that series. I just don't give a shit about that series. Like, but Buddy Bill Lustig is pushing the shit out of it. So
I think they're fun time wasters, but they did get a little bit overrated, at least amongst horror fans.
I like him.
Robert's-
Oh, sorry. go
Rob-
ahead.
Robert Zadar is definitely a unique looking son of a bitch, though. I'll
Oh,
give him
yeah.
that.
yeah,
Damn chin.
Just to watch Tango and Cash.
Yep.
I love you and Conan the Barbarian. Yeah, I like Maniac Cop too. He's got a cool Terminator type of sequence in a police station. He's got some really good stunt work because the guy who worked on it would go on work on stunts for big action movies. Leo Rossi, he does a good job in it as this other crazy guy that meets the Maniac Cop.
The fire
yeah.
sequences in 3. That's
Everybody's
what I
giving me a
was-
hard
Yeah.
time about not liking parades. Well, what the fuck is so great about parades?
I think it just seemed random. Like I'd never heard of someone else say they don't like parades.
That's like being like, you know what I fucking hate? Rainbows. Fuck them.
How about Motel Hell from 1980?
Oh yeah.
Maybe underrated then. I don't know about now. I think everybody knows about Motel Hell by now.
That's true. It's a killer mix though of like comedy and horror that is really hard to do, but they did it really great in that movie.
Rory Calhoun is the actor's name.
Yeah.
He was the key to that movie. If they didn't have him,
Yep.
they wouldn't have had a movie.
Oh yeah.
How about Mother's Day from 1980? I would say this one's still underrated, for sure.
I wouldn't rate a fucking thing with that movie.
Didn't
Fuck
they
that
do a
fucking-
Didn't they do a fucking
not a
remake
fan?
of Rebecca De Mornay of that movie? By the way,
Yeah,
I think
They did.
did.
Yeah.
it's very loose, though, right? I don't think it's.
No,
Yeah.
very very loose.
Very loose. Yeah. Pretty much for the most
It's
part.
thin.
In name
Paper
only
thin.
and just
And it's Alan
Concept
McBeal
only.
thin.
it's
The
fucking anorexic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Um,
always kind of like this movie, though. I haven't seen it in a long time. I got the Vinegar Syndrome release, but haven't had a chance to watch it.
Isn't it shut that movie just these three women just yapping about stuff until the events happen?
That
Like
is
these-
true. That is there is a bunch of like scenes of women yapping before.
And
Yeah,
I didn't
but
think they
who
were
was-
likable. Maybe
They're
that's
not.
just me.
But I do for some reason like that movie. I think it's mostly because of the mother and the
Oh, yeah.
one fucking son that's got like the tooth missing. or
What's
whatever.
there was one of the actors in that went on to do a bunch of mainstream movies, though. I don't think that they have him listed here, but he was one of the brothers. I don't know.
Tom Atkins said that movie is
Look
bullshit.
at that. You gotta listen to Tom Atkins.
Yeah.
Mute Witness. This is one Uncle Bill reviewed not too long ago from
I don't think
1994.
that movie is underrated.
I don't think so
I
either.
think it's rated exactly where it should be.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Unless you just like watching people rip off Brian De Palma and kind of in a bad
Yeah.
way. That's what
I
we
was
did.
thinking about this movie not too long ago, though. The Necronomicon Book of the Dead movie from 94. Has anybody re-released that lately or anything?
Yeah, it just got me and Garrett bought it. I haven't watched it though, but we got it at the same
Oh,
time
okay.
about a year ago or something.
Isn't
trying
but it's a region 2 release though, right?
It is. It's not like a US release or anything.
Yeah, I think
I
I,
can't
have that
remember
one.
who
It's
did
got
that.
like a blue and pink cover or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember who released that though.
I can't
But,
remember
yeah.
either.
But it's another H.P. Lovecraft
Hmm.
based on. So I might not be my thing. Richard Lynch is in it though, so Uncle Bill's had everybody's had plenty of pleasant experiences with Richard Lynch over
Yeah.
the
Good
years,
time.
including Sleepy.
Yeah.
How about Stephen King's The Night Flyer? Evil
Fuck
has a
yes.
place to play.
Let me tell you, that is truly an underrated film. Like
Mhm.
in terms of even like Stephen King films, like nobody ever references that movie. But the performance that Miguel
Miguel Ferrer, yes.
Miguel Ferrer gives in that movie is great.
Yeah.
He's why it works, honestly.
It'll probably remain underrated too because it's owned by HBO and produced by Richard Rubenstein, so there's like no chance of it
Oh
getting
Jesus,
released.
yeah, that's never coming out unless they
He's
pay
too
him like
busy counting that
Yeah.
Dune money.
Now, I would still say this one's underrated, but everybody kind of knows this one. 1984, Night of the Comet.
Oh yeah.
What do you guys think?
yeah.
I
Love
like
it.
That that's a weird mixed film, yeah. But it's a good film.
Yeah, like a Valley Girl mixed with zombie movie kind of. And it's like
Yeah.
got that 80s, like not authentic 80s, although it was authentic. It was made in the 80s, but it's got like what the 80s aesthetic people like
Mhm.
in it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
One funny part about that movie too is like, don't their parents and everybody they know like just evaporate and they just go out
Dust.
shopping and shit?
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
That's the whole thing. They're just like so.
Kelly Maroney too. One of my favorite moments in the show back in the day. She is one of the rare people that just called in to the show when we had the
Oh, yeah.
call-ins. You remember
I
this?
remember that.
I do.
What
yeah.
the fuck? Kelly Maroney, boys. Very nice lady. And then
She's
Catherine Mary Stewart's also doing the horror conventions now, oddly enough. She was doing like a lot of mainstream stuff for a long time. So
Correct
Night
me
of
if I'm wrong,
Creeps.
but wasn't she in Dragnet?
I think so, yeah.
Wasn't she
Yeah,
like-
she was.
Dan Aykroyd. Yeah.
She
Tom
was.
Hanks.
Sorry, that just struck me for a second. It's a movie nobody ever talks about either.
Another one from 86, though, Night of the Creeps, both.
Of course.
I'm looking at the poster of it right now. It's like one of my favorite horror films. So yeah, it probably was seriously underrated at that time because that DVD didn't come out until like we were way into the show. Like,
Well, I mean, I think the DVD didn't do that well either. Like, they were expecting it would be like Monster Squad popular.
Oh.
I would still say it may be a little bit underrated, man. I mean, I know that Scream Factory re-released it. It's got its fan base, but I mean, I don't know. Like they had at that Living Dead weekend, they had a Night of the Creeps reunion, and nobody cared.
that's crazy.
Nobody gave a shit.
I mean, that's one of those movies, man, where like the humor in it is exactly the kind of stuff that I like in horror films. The way they do the humor, and Tom Atkins, speaking, he's in here, so we should talk highly of him. Like, gives one of the best performance. That's another performance. It's like just insanely good. He
Absolutely.
just doesn't even seem like he's in the same movie as everybody else. Like he's just that good.
But yeah, this was Fred Decker's debut movie, right? Pretty
Oh, yeah.
sure. I don't want to talk about this movie very much.
Okay.
Roman Polanski's Ninth Gate from 1999.
Fuck.
You've got Johnny Depp smoking a brown cigarette throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't worth a pot to piss in.
Good for him.
Fuck
No.
Roman Polanski.
Nomads from 1986.
You could
That's a
skip
ki-
that one too.
That's a killer Iron Maiden song, though. Isn't it?
You can skip that one too.
Mark's
No.
seen that one.
I have, and it is not a good film by any means.
You're not a Pierce Brosnan fan?
And just not in that movie, no.
And John
What a fucking
McTiernan.
cast. Adam
John-
Ant.
Yeah. And John
Adam
McTiernan. Before he did Die Hard and Predator, John
It was-
McTiernan did that.
Yeah, I think he did that the year before Predator. So it's best left forgotten.
This is a Spanish one now. Mark may know this one. I don't know. Open Your Eyes from 1997. Director Alejandro Amendabar.
Wasn't that a fucking White Snake song?
Yeah.
Open your eyes.
Does that have an alternate title on there? for
No,
that
I
one?
don't see one on it. It said, well, real quick here. It says, "Open Your Eyes" is the original version of the Tom Cruise film Vanilla Sky.
Really?
Hmm.
When,
I don't think that's the movie I'm thinking about then.
all right.
Sci-fi thriller challenges the viewer's assumptions throughout. Both film versions star the voluptuous. Man, could you imagine? Well, Penelope Cruz. This was in 1997. So she was mighty voluptuous then.
Well, then the sequel would be Open Your Legs.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What about 1987's Terror at the Opera, a.k.a. Opera, from Dario Argento?
I don't know because I can't ever get to fucking see it. I
Well,
mean,
the
I
disc
can watch
that's
it
out's
again.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, you got your order, right? You're shipping?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say too. I don't know, like right before this, and it was literally right before this show. I got my shipping notification from.
Oh,
Sam.
really? Let me check. 'Cause I didn't
That'd
get
be
mine.
killer me.
Sons of bitches and dildos.
I got my order on Tuesday.
Everybody's got their order, it seems like.
Except you.
Me and Uncle Bill, and Uncle Bill shipped.
They're like, "Fuck him, no."
Yeah, they ain't shipped me nothing.
And there you go, fuck yourself.
But I would say that Opera is one of the more underrated Argento movies just because nobody really references it with his other classics, and I think it's right up there.
Agreed. Great music, quality death scenes, great direction.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know how
insane.
some people would feel about the story aspect, but I mean, you could make that argument for most Argento.
I was going to say, does anybody ever really like talk about the story aspect of any of Argento's movies, except maybe like the first couple?
Mhm.
Because the rest of them, it's just like, it just completely like leaves that part out.
How was the story in Dracula 3D?
It was actually pretty good though, because
So
they got a
there you
praying
go.
man. They got a killer praying mantis in it.
Yeah, Rudger Hauer,
So
right?
There you go. See, that's an exception.
I mean, it don't get much better than that. I don't remember that being in the canon of Dracula, but maybe he does turn into a praying mantis in the book.
Original.
Has any of you guys seen The Other from 1972, directed by Robert Mulligan?
Nah, call Mulligan
don't
on
think
that.
so. Like
I
what
don't
you did
know
there.
anybody in the. Well, this is well, it says it's from the USA. All these names look like the Russian though, so please don't reveal the secret.
The
of
Russian? How do they look like the Russian? What are the
Spoiler.
names?
Chris Udvarnaki and Martin Udvarnaki. They must be related.
Howard Bernarki. That's a killer.
Uta Hagen,
Fuck yeah.
Diana Muldar. I don't know. How about Paper House from 1988?
It's a great John Cougar Mellencamp song.
I don't know if I've ever seen that movie.
Is that the
Bernard
same person
Rose.
that directed Candyman?
Candyman, yeah.
Okay. I've heard of it.
I don't think I've seen it.
Continuing on here, boys.
I've seen that.
Hmm.
Oh,
Got
now.
This one's saved back here, boys.
Ah,
This one is for sure, still to this day, very underrated.
good
I don't
one.
know what the deal is with this, but yeah, Anchor Bay DVD was the last time this thing's been out on anything in the U.S. Pen from 1988. Sandor Stern directed it. Based
It's
on a
hard to even
novel.
really talk about that damn movie. Like, how would you explain that movie to somebody?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a more or less like a psychological, like, I don't want to say psychological horror, right? It's got some horror to it, but like the pen is, I guess, is short. It's supposed to be short for like Pinocchio or something, right? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
The doll,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, the doll never. It's almost like they hint it's that it's the doll, but I don't know. I just kind of, I've always been a big fan of that.
I would
one.
say it's
Well
kind of
done.
like if anyone ever saw a film called Magic with Anthony Hopkins, it's a little bit like that. Although I like Pin better. But yeah, it's not a child's play type of movie. It, like he said, it's much more of a dramatic, psychological, bit of a creepier movie. And I agree, it's a pretty good one, Pin.
Yeah, it's definitely better than Magic. Only because in Magic, Anthony Hopkins, all the voices, and that just starts to get annoying after a while. But yeah, Terry O'Quinn, could watch him in pretty much anything. Pen's really solid. Definitely an underrated one. Serves to be on the list for sure.
I think Pen is actually not a bad name though. Like Dirk is saying, it's a bad title. They may have promoted it badly, but I think that it obviously didn't make a ton of money, but I don't know. I just think it may have been a little bit before its time, possibly, or something. How about Rennie Harlan movie Prison from 1988?
I like Prison.
That's the movie where Kane Hodder got fucked up, isn't it? Like,
Viggo Mortensen. I'm not sure. I know he was
And
in it.
I know there's
Yeah.
some fire stunts in it, quite a few.
yeah, I think
but-
that's right.
I'm not sure if that was it.
But anyway, solid movie. Yeah. I think that's another one too that Scream Factory put out. I've got
Yeah.
the Scream Factory Blu-ray
Yeah.
of that.
They that was one of their very early titles, I think. I remember it being okay. I don't remember falling in love with it though, to be honest with you.
I like it. I like the effects in it. I like Viggo Mortensen, very young role. Was it, I want to say Lane Smith, who I always remember from Son-in-Law. He was in it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I like the concept of take a haunted house aspect but put it in a prison. I just think that's such a unique setting for it, and at least Randy Ryan brought a little bit of his early action moments before he did Die Hard 2 and Cliffhanger. So I do like the scene with the guy wrapped around in barbed wire and he's like in the chair, is pulled right up. I think that's stuff like that was helped him get Nightmare on Elm Street 4. they do kills like that. It's like, oh, maybe this actor
Yeah.
worked for Freddy.
Unfortunately, now Rennie Harlan's doing Strangers Chapter 1, so
He's doing all the chapters.
That's right.
I bet he. I
That's sad.
Rennie Harlan is like, he's just a Hollywood yes man, probably. I mean, maybe that's why he's getting all these roles. He'll do whatever they fucking want. He don't care. Sure.
Yeah, it's sad. Yeah.
I mean, that has to be it. He's
That
like,
Strangers movie.
yeah.
Look forward to part 2.
Private Parts from 1972, directed by Paul Bertel. Slasher killer movie. I've seen Howard Stern's Private Parts. I don't
That's
know
what I
if
was.
this one-
That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah.
Yeah. Haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one.
What about Pumpkinhead, baby, from 1988?
Now, fuck, that ain't
baby?
underrated. Everybody knows about Pumpkinhead. Damn.
Pumpkinhead.
Pumpkins.
No, I don't think that one's that. Pumpkinhead was a big hit in the video store too. Like that was one that when I can almost remember as a little kid when that thing came out in video, people were renting the hell out of that.
What was that
Yeah.
guy's name? The witch keeps saying it. Is it? What's his name in that movie?
Pussy or something
Lance
like that.
Henderson.
Is it Jed or
Hardy. Something.
Holly.
Hardy? Oh,
And
Hardy.
Holly.
Ed Holly. You come up here looking for my magic.
And that was the
like Muhammad Ali
only
almost.
Stan Winston directed movie
wanna
too,
fight
right?
me?
That was the only one he ever directed. Is that correct?
No, I think he did the Anthony Michael Hall, a gnome named Norm, with a little Norm
Oh,
partnered up with the police officer.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Anthony Michael Hall is a cop, and he teams up with a little Norm, so he's like a little guy in a Norm outfit.
That right there has convinced me that we've got to do a show solely based on fucked up cop buddy movies, like where they had dogs or they had like things like that. We need
So-
to do
Top
that
Dog.
show.
Top dog,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I kn-
K9, Turner and Hooch, and
A
then the
gnome,
ones where they
yeah.
had like little kids too. We could put that in there, like
cop and a
what was
half.
the cop and a half. Yeah, like we need to do this show. I'm telling you.
Cop and a half. There you go.
Finally, oddly enough, the first David Cronenberg movie in this whole list. That's kind of surprising. Rabid from 1977. Marilyn Chambers. Yeah, I mean,
That is a highly underrated movie that like I still enjoy to this day. One of the very first kind of like not the first, but the very first kind of like biological, outbreak kind of movies
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
And she's really good in it too. I mean, and it's got a great story, good gore.
Cronenberg was probably a big fan of hers.
I'm sure he was. Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially back
Oh,
then.
look at that! How you doing? Well, I'm doing.
It's another one that I got a Solstice.
What would you say is Cronenberg's like most successful movie? Like I know the Fly remake's probably it, but like as far as original like movies,
What do you mean? Like successful? Like how
That-
mainstream or
that got him to the career that he has. Like what was his most mainstream success?
that's
the Dead
gotta be.
Zone. The Dead Zone of the Fly, I would think.
I would think it would have to be The Fly.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, the Fly is really like a remake, though. I mean, something that's purely
Oh, his own movie.
Yeah,
Scanners.
Scanners. Yeah, probably.
Probably Scanners.
I mean, in terms of like what kind of moved him along. Later on, he made a ton of movies like Alpha was saying with like History of Violence. Those movies.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Those
It
movies are
would have
actually
been
really
either
fun.
that or The Brood, maybe.
yeah.
The
He
Brood.
was like nominated for Academy Awards and everything for History of Violence and Eastern Promises, I think.
Mm.
How about Rampage, Uncle Bill? William Friedkin from 1988.
Is Kino ever going to release that son of a bitch? I don't
Been
know.
waiting for like what seems like a lifetime for that damn Blu-ray.
Yeah, I mean, I have never watched that movie purposefully because like I want to see
Hmm.
a
good
version of it
version
that
of it.
doesn't suck. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy that one.
At this point in time when this book came out, there was no way the VHS was all that was out, evidently. But yeah, Michael Bean stars, based on a novel from William Woods. Well, that'd be a funny name to have as a kid. Willie Wood. Come on, Willie Wood. I don't like this movie either. I've never watched it all the way through. I tried. I think it was on like Sundance Film Channel back in the day. Ravenous from 1999.
I like Ravenous.
I've never seen it.
Antonia Bird, baby.
A very
That-
unique, I guess you could call it cannibal movie, right, Rambo? It's kind of a cannibal
It's a
movie.
Western cannibal movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guy Pearce is in it.
Set in 1800s.
David Arquette gets killed.
Robert Carlyle, I think, is in there.
Yeah, he's the bad guy. Pretty much, guy goes to a settlement and finds out that there's someone on there that will eat people because it gets the souls. Like, he's very deranged, and it's a very bloody cannibal movie in the West.
Doesn't it
That's
make you
comedic.
stronger or make you heal or something? Like if you eat
Kinda, yeah.
the person, something like that. Yeah.
Come on, Dirt. I don't think it was that bad, but I've seen much worse. I've seen
Thanks,
fucking Mousetrap. That's stank shit. Ravenous isn't that bad.
This is one that I'm not familiar with at all. I think I may not. Chris Sarandon, yeah, I know the cover of this, but I don't think I've ever seen it. The Resurrected from 1992, Dan O'Bannon.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I remember that.
I
Some
haven't seen
interesting.
that.
Yeah.
Underrated.
How do you feel about it?
I actually liked it quite a bit. It's one of those ones I got for like $4 or $5. They're one of those sales. And it just had Chris Sarandon in it, so I was like, I'll watch it. You're right though, some great effects and like aging and stuff like that, and yeah, just overall like pretty cool movie.
Alejandro Jodorowsky's Santa Sangre from 1989, baby.
That ain't my bag, Daddy. I ain't seen that one.
You ain't a Jodorowsky
I
aficionado.
tell you what, though, I did see one of them movies, and I was like, I don't want to watch no more of these movies again, if you will.
To be fair, that's probably his best and most straightforward movie. It's the most easily accessible one to watch and actually understand what's going on.
You ain't down with Alejandro. I remember Anchor Bay sent us a big box set of that, and I tried. I ended up giving it to
That's-
Slippy or something.
Yep.
I
actually,
Those movies are definitely not for you guys. I could.
what
tell.
is it like? Holy Mountain? Was that
Holy
one of them?
Mountain,
Yeah, I watched that and I was like, nope, man, fuck this shit.
Nah.
I
I
have to
like
be
the
like,
Holy Mountain, but
I have to be
it's
high off my ass to
not for everybody. For sure.
know what's going on.
No fucking Alejandro ain't never stepped foot in Eastern Kentucky, so fuck him.
Why? That's your criteria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking uppity
Yeah.
fart sniffer. Screamers from 1995.
Oh, fuck. Where did that come from?
Hey,
Screamers.
Thor.
That's the Jennifer Rubin one. Peter Weller, Jennifer
Yeah.
Rubin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sci-fi
that's,
movie.
that's a weird little movie, actually.
Monster
I don't
movie.
know. I don't know. It's not. It's good. It's okay.
Look at this picture. This was 90s, right? What year was this?
95.
Okay.
Or
I was going to say
95.
that effect right there is total 90s. Like mid-90s.
Yeah, that was. I thought it was a cool little flick. It was pretty much on a desolate planet. They were part of a warring faction. They've been left behind, so they got to try to get off the planet. And this weapon will pretend to be people, so like pretends to be a bunch of little kids. So have you seen where they're shooting a bunch of little kids because they're robots and like they flamethrower one, so the kids like screaming.
Mhm.
It's like this is weird.
Remember that one on cable back in the day? It was either HBO or Cinemax that was on constantly.
I thought that was fun.
I
I'm a
don't mind
Peter
it.
Weller fan.
Do you guys remember The Sender from 1982? It's a British psychological, supernatural. It's kind of like a poor man's Jacob Ladder, I think is a good way to describe it. I've watched it, but I mean, I didn't. It's very slow, and
Okay.
I think Paramount may have done the DVD of it back in the day. I think I
Is that
have
like-
it somewhere.
It's got some like sci-fi elements to it.
Um,
That's the movie I'm thinking about.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's been
think
a long
I've
time
seen it.
since I've seen it, but
A lot of people are
huge on it.
not a big fan of that movie, apparently.
Yeah.
I thought
about-
it was, okay. No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. What do you
thought-
think of it?
No, if it's the film I'm thinking of, I thought it was kind of like a lesser version of that X-Files episode Pusher. Was it about a guy that like projected his thoughts into people so they were made to think of stuff, but he was
I
like
think so.
trapped
Yeah.
in a prison in a room? I remember it could have been better.
It's a young man who wakes up in great distress on the side of the road, goes to nearby beach and attempts suicide by drowning. Saved from the peril, he is admitted to the mental institution, given the name John Doe,
Yeah.
and now he has like the ability to whatever.
Right. Yeah, he could like make his nightmares reality or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Session 9. What the hell happened to Brad Anderson, boys?
That's a good question because that movie and The Machinist, like he should have been the next. I don't know.
The
like, what-
Machinist was really, really good.
Yeah.
That one
Yeah.
was good.
Session 9. The first time I saw it, I was blown away by how good it was. Creepy as all hell. Like amazingly well directed movie for David Caruso. For me to like David Caruso in anything takes like a fucking miracle, and that's what that movie was.
Some character development, boys.
I love the ending of it too. Like the ending of that movie where you like everything unravels and the way it unravels and you find out what's going on is just insanely well done.
He did a movie and I think it was like 2018. It was written by I think Tony Gilroy, the guy who did Nightcrawler, the Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Mhm.
So I mean
That's
he's still
fine.
around.
Wow.
Brad Anderson is still around. I know, Jake Gyllenhaal.
He's still directing. He directed a few years ago a film with Sam Worthington called Fractured, which
Mhm.
wasn't that good. He's still directing, but nothing like Session 9. I agree. Love the movie. Excellent atmosphere. Shame that asylum is torn down. It was such a great location.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know we can't stay on long, but I love to like discuss about the ending. Maybe one day down the road, just the interpretations. But yeah, I love the movie. Great movie.
How about Bram Stoker's Shadow Builder, boy, from 1997?
I've never seen that one.
Michael Rooker stars in that.
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen it either. It just sounds like something that wouldn't be my thing.
Yeah, kind of low budget. And
Supernatural haunting.
yeah.
Are
When
you making
God
a list of all
created
these that
lights.
we haven't seen, by the way?
No, I'm just making a list of the ones that actually sound like something I'd like because I don't ever want to watch that.
You know what? Shadow Builder.
No. Brian De Palma joint from 1973, Sisters. That's definitely an underrated one, I think. Still.
Oh yeah, Margot
Yeah,
Kidder
that's
in that movie. Jesus Christ, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Another one that's underrated, man, is Scream Factory's coming out with the 4K here in a couple of months. You were talking about Terry O'Quinn a little bit earlier. The Stepfather, man.
Yes.
Joshua
Yeah.
Ellen's in this one too. That's one that I'll probably bite on even because it's fucking Scream Factory. Because I don't have anything since the DVD of that.
Same
Same.
here. That Blu-ray looked like shit. So
Mm.
yeah, everybody shot
Is that movie underrated? Because they did a fucking remake for that too. Unfortunately, that was awful too. But like,
Yeah.
I mean, that movie is basically Terry O'Quinn. Like that is the whole
Yes.
movie. Like it's just a character study of him, really, and it's got such a great premise that he just goes from family to family and like trying to put together the perfect family and can't ever like do it. And yeah, I just love his performance in that movie too.
Had 2 sequels
Yeah.
as well.
Well, you know the second one. You remember that one, don't you?
Make room for daddy.
Right.
I like the second one too. Fuck it.
Yeah, Brandis.
Yeah.
is in there.
This one is definitely underrated, and it's a shame because the movie that year that was like the talk,
Okay.
1999, The Sixth Sense, was a gigantic hit, right? And then Stir of Echoes came out that same year, a little bit later that year, I think, and just completely bombed. And it is the superior movie times 10, in my opinion.
I agree.
I can't watch The Sixth Sense anymore. I can rewatch Stir of Echoes all day long. It's a great
Same.
one.
Yeah, Sixth Sense is all based on the ending, and once you know it, it's kind of like kind of by the numbers in a way. Stir of Echoes, I thought, just had a much more interesting premise and story. Kevin Bacon's really, really good in that movie.
I was thinking, yeah, the big difference between those two movies to me is like the leads, because I think Kevin Bacon's miles better than Bruce Willis or anybody else in The Sixth Sense for that matter.
It's got a really cool, like, late 90s vibe to it as well. Like, I don't know, like, want to go back there just for a day and watch that and go back to the late 90s with the fashion, the music, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So Freddie Litt sends in a super chat and says that he's about to binge watch all the films I've never heard of on this list once I get from Amazon.
That's probably a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Strange Behavior, aka Dead Kids, New Zealand. Yay! 1981, Michael Laughlin. Writers, Bill Condon.
That's weird.
Louise Fletcher's in this. I know the cover, but I don't remember. If I've seen it, I don't remember it. Sorry.
I don't remember it either.
Yeah.
And you guys seen it?
It's okay. I don't remember anything that's really stand out about it, but it's an okay flick.
It's kind of similar to a film later on, Disturbing Behavior, in a way. Just as experimentation to make people seem to be better. Almost like they ripped it off or something. But...
Well, I think I think that might have been the goal, was to turn them like psychotic and then they become murderers. And Disturbing Behavior, it's like they're trying to make them better. But
they become murderers.
Yeah,
Okay,
but the side effect is them becoming murderers.
Swamp Thing, Wes Craven, 1982.
Sorry. That's a weird twist to that. Like,
would you call that a horror film?
I don't think it is. No.
So yeah,
I don't think it's a good movie either, man.
it's not
I
a good
agree.
movie.
No.
I mean, the best part about that movie is that unrated cut, and it's just
'cause
for a
the-
split second. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's with the fucking kid that was in that? That was just so like it did not fit at all. The Reggie kid, was his name?
I love that. That was my favorite. That was the only part I liked. Just how deadpan is like, oh, what the hell? It's like,
That's just it just sticks out like a sore thumb, man. He does not fit. He's not an actor. It was bad.
but yeah, it's my favorite part. I just how unique he is. I agree.
I mean, yeah.
But it's so unique. Maybe just compared to like the suit, like literally falling apart in every scene and like all the awful. I love you, Wes Craven.
It might be the only one of the. Well, that's one of the only 3 movies I can think of David Hess being in too. Like,
No, that's too bad.
I'm surprised this one's on here. This was kind of surprising. Ticks from 1993.
I just watched that movie again. Vinegar Syndrome. I got that in one of their sales. The 4K. That's actually surprisingly fun, man.
Yeah.
Like the practical effects in that movie are great. It's got a really fucking goofy scene with Clint Howard. Like
He's screaming he's infested.
yeah, I mean it's exactly what you think it is.
And the bit with what happens to Carlton, his body.
Yeah. That's
Mhm.
another thing too. When I saw he was there, I was like, I'd never imagine him in a movie, let alone like a horror movie like that. Yeah.
He's playing like a tough guy.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a
he plays the
badass.
heel. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like the fucking
Isn't it funny though that we live in a world where that's got like a big box set in 4K that's out? This is another interesting one. And I would still say this one's underrated as well. 1971, Tombs of the Blind Dead, aka The Blind Dead. Armando D'Osario. I'm probably mispronouncing it.
I'm
but,
blind, I can't fucking see. I can't see nothing. I'm dead.
dude, like for 1971, the effects and shit in that is pretty fucking outstanding.
Yeah, I'd say that's the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first one might be the best one of them. It's got some very memorable stuff in it.
The Synapse version of that is freaking insane too. It looks great. Which I think
how
that's
many of
just
those did they make? Like there was,
I think it's 4 of them.
yeah, there was a bunch of those. I
yeah.
thought.
I think it was 4.
So that one I would still say is kind of underrated. What about Bad Blood, baby? Twitch of the death nerve, if you will. Mario
So
Bava.
basically Friday 13 Part 2. I mean, if you want to watch the
Steve
version,
Miner was a huge fan.
he was. Yeah. It's great. It's got like gore before that kind of gore was really a thing, like slasher kind of.
Maybe one of the
Wow.
earliest like 80 slasher movies because it was from 71.
Yeah,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of films rip that off. I'll just say that. Some blatantly like that, and then some just through the premise and gore.
So would you consider that still underrated?
I
would
consider
say, yeah.
most of his movies still underrated. Yeah, I mean because like
Okay.
most people don't even know anything about his
Mhm.
movies.
Mhm.
I'm not even a huge fan of Mario Bava, but I mean
Hmm.
I've seen the films and know that they're very influential to everything else that comes out like after that.
And how can you hate on a movie that's called both Bad Blood
Babylon,
and
baby.
Twitch of the Death Nerve, baby? I can't. How about 2000 Maniacs from 1964? H.G. Lewis joint. One of the very, very early gore movies.
I don't know about y'all, but like I never got into that style, Blood
Me
Feast
neither.
and that, or whatever the hell that was.
Right.
That gimmick kind of carnival style gore film, like I just never cared. And I don't like either one of those movies, really, if I'm being honest. Blood Feast or
What about the
2000
sequel,
Maniacs.
2001 Maniacs?
I actually like that movie more than 2000 Maniacs.
Who was that
sadly.
fucking female in that movie too, man? God,
Oh, wasn't
almighty.
that Charisma Carpenter, or was that not Charisma Carpenter, Serena Vincent, or was that somebody else?
What was her name? Damn it. I can't remember her name, but she was hotter than a $2
You talking about
pistol.
the one with the big old
jugs.
melon? Yeah,
She was the
I
milkmaid.
can't-
The
She
milkmaid
was.
in that movie. Somebody
Mm.
throw us a name out here, boys. Somebody knows.
Ah.
Krista Campbell.
Krista Campbell.
Krista Campbell.
yes.
Yeah,
Mm.
she
That's
was
what
a
I'm
lesser
talking
known
about.
kind of scream queen around that time period.
Oh, she should have been way more well known.
Uh,
How about The Ugly from 1997?
What?
The Ugly.
Uh,
I don't know what that is.
I've
Directed
never
by
heard it.
Scott Reynolds. That name sounds familiar. What else did he do?
He went to school with us, I think.
It's Steve Reynolds.
I
I just saw him yesterday, by the way.
Scott Reynolds. How's old Steve doing?
He's all right.
I saw that once a while ago because for anyone who remembers the Boogeyman DVD compilation with Robert Englund narrated, that was like one of the films featured. It's I want to say New Zealand movie
Mhm.
or
That's
Australian
what it
movie.
says.
And it's pretty much a guy, female like reporter talking to a guy when he's in an asylum, and he's discussing about how he's innocent, but then you see he says something's been making him kill people. And it'll show like these weird flashbacks where it's like all these victims around him, and then he's supposed to think whether he's the killer or he's just making this up or that he's really just influenced by this other force.
Mhm.
It was all right. I mean, it's worth one watch. I don't know if you would like it. I mean, it's not the worst that I've seen. It's interesting enough, but I think the lead guy did a pretty good job. I'll put it that way. But
Cool. From 1994, The Unearthing. It's a monster movie.
don't
I'm
know.
not
That one.
familiar with this one either. I don't
Don't
know
remember
anybody
that
in this. That's from the USA.
The Unearthing? I've
The-
never heard
The
of that.
Unearthing. They're coming to feed on the unborn.
Oh, shit.
It's a monster that's hungry for fetuses.
So Juby better watch out, right?
Jimmy wants to be born now.
He can't be that fetus. They got him.
Big killer name for a movie. Fetus
Fetus
eater.
eater. We've got a hit right there. We'll send that
Oh,
to
shit.
somebody.
God. This is what's the dude's name? He could remake it's Urban Ghost Story from 1998, directed by Genevieve Jaliffy.
That is Genevieve Jaliffy. Okay.
It's from the UK. Genevieve Jaliffy. Hello.
It's an urban ghost story, not a Chinese story. It's urban.
This
now.
one's urban, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have any idea.
I don't have any
Yeah,
idea either.
it's British.
They're
horror.
they're
Haven't
running
seen
out of material here. Anybody seen an urban ghost story in the chat? Let us know. The Vanishing from 1988. This is the original French version. I've seen the U.S. version with Sandra Bullock and
Kiefer Sutherland,
Sutherland,
Jeff
yeah.
Bridges.
it's pretty good. I thought it was pretty decent. I've never seen the original one though.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
same thing.
better.
Well, it's French though.
Well, I know the original has a.
That's the best explanation I've ever heard. Just stop it. It's French though.
Genevieve Joe Diffie.
Oh, all right. Well, that ended that conversation. Let's check out the
I would
88 one.
I would like to check the original version out though, because I do like I guess it was from the early 90s.
I just know. I just know
think
that
it was-
the ending is very different. That's why I heard the ending in the original is very different from the remake.
Yeah, I think the original was 88, and it's got some really cool like atmosphere. Just the whole ambiance of the entire movie, the mood. It's very different in that way to the American version, and like Rambo said, the ending as well, and some other small plot points I won't give away. It's definitely worth checking out. Highly recommend it.
Have you guys ever seen Wendigo from Larry Feazenton from the year 2000?
I think I actually have seen that movie, but I don't
I
remember.
think
a damn
I've
thing
seen it
about
too. I think it was on like IFC or something a lot back in the day. Like, isn't it? It's set in the winter or something.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, you're right.
I don't know what the obsession people have with Larry Fessenden is. I really don't. But there's
He
a lot
looks
of
like
people
Jack Nicholson.
He
that
does.
really, really love that guy.
Is there an obsession?
Yeah, for some reason
From-
he's got his
from
own
who?
little like cult.
He's mainly
Kinda
an
following.
actor now, though. Is he directing movies still or no?
I think he's mostly
I
an
don't think
actor.
so.
Where are the cults at?
In the darkest corners of the interwebs.
He was actually just in. I think he was in Maxine briefly.
Oh,
He always plays like a scumbag. I don't know what he was in Maxine, but I'm betting he was a scumbag.
Well, I mean, that's kind of his gimmick.
Yeah.
How about 1979 When a Stranger Calls?
ah,
Every babysitter's nightmare becomes real.
That's such a weird movie though, man. Like it because the opening half of it, the first half of it is one thing completely. It is amazing in its direction and tension and everything. And the
Mhm.
closing half is a damn like detective story that
It's
just
like a
goes
character
on.
study.
Yeah.
I think the guy, I think his name was Tony Beckley that played the murderer. So like the opening, 15, 20 minutes of the movie is this
Carol Kane.
one scene. Carol Kane's a babysitter or whatever.
yeah.
And then like we fast forward, what is it? I don't know how many years. And they let this dude out. He was in like the insane asylum or whatever. And it's just the rest of the movie up until like probably the last 10 or 15 minutes is, following him around, and he's getting more and more crazy as time passes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it almost seems like it starts at the beginning, or I'm sorry, it starts at the middle of the movie. Like because the beginning of the movie almost seems like it should be somewhere else. Like that there's something missing, but they just
Right.
immediately go into that and then go like so far ahead and like start like following up with the killer and all that. It's just so bizarre the way that it's filmed.
Did you ever see the sequel?
Yeah.
When a Stranger Calls Back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do
It's
you
pretty
think of
good.
that?
I didn't
Yeah.
think it was bad.
It's surprisingly better than I
Yeah.
thought it would be.
Yeah, didn't
Yeah.
the same guy make it? Fred Walton, didn't he make the sequel too? It's like a TV movie, I think.
Believe so, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I liked it.
What about this is the last movie, boys. This is 101. So it only took us about 2.5 hours. It's not too bad.
That's a brief show.
The Wisdom of Crocodiles, aka Immortality, from the UK, directed by Pochi Long. Pochi Long.
Is that
I
really
dare-
his name?
I dare anybody say they've seen this movie right now.
Pochi Long.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen that.
I
Somebody
wanna go
just pulled
to,
that out of their ass.
I'm going to go to Pochi Long and get cheese wonton.
I haven't seen that one.
It's a supernatural haunting.
Of course it is. It's from
yeah.
Asia. Fucking
Pochi Long. But yeah, guys, that is 100. We went through all 101 of the best horror movies that you've never seen. So I didn't really keep track of the ones that I'd actually still never seen, but
Right.
I'd seen most of these. How about you guys?
yeah, pretty
Chunk
good
of them.
percent.
It's probably like 4 or 5, but those were all like the British or New Zealand movies I hadn't seen.
I'll ask this: if each one of you could pick one movie from either the 70s, 80s, 90s, this from that era, like they did, what would be one movie that they didn't show that you would say is an unheralded, underrated horror that you think should have been on the list?
One that I'm shocked it was not on the list is, and we've talked about this movie numerous times because we had never seen it before. And it was one of the movies from our patrons that requested us to watch. It's called The Innocents from 1961 or 62. It's like a old school ghost haunted house. Or maybe it is, maybe it isn't movie. I'll just say that.
Gotcha.
Very atmospheric. I think Black Sabbath was a gigantic fan. Like the band Black Sabbath was gigantic fans for one particular scene in this movie. If you watch it, you'll. I mean, that's one that I was shocked it wasn't in this book. What about you, Uncle Bill?
I could go a bunch of different ways with this. I mean, because it's hard for me to pick one movie. Like my default setting for movies like that nobody talks about that are like fun horror films would be Intruder. And my recently one that I saw where I'm like, I cannot fucking believe that like nobody talks about this movie, like nobody knows about this movie. It probably because it's Italian and it's giallo, but it's like one of the best of that kind of quality is that Massimo Dallamano's What Have You Done to Solange, which is fucking, I don't give a damn Italian or anything else. Like it's one of the best movies that I've seen like that, like murder mystery kind of movies.
Mhm.
And it's, I don't think anybody talks about that movie.
Yeah, beautifully shot. It's a pleasure to look at. Great mystery.
Oh, okay. What about you, Mark?
It's really hard to say because so many movies now, like, I mean, internet's wide open and like horror fans nowadays, like they scour for pretty much anything they can find. And I almost feel like this is a cliche answer, but I think most people have seen Peeping Tom by now. That was one that I think.
Well, that was
Definitely.
one that's finally getting a U.S. release, right? When was the last time it came out in the U.S.?
Oh, is it?
It got released by Criterion here
I
recently.
think Criterion, yeah.
Yeah, it was Criterion.
What about the Boogans? That's a pretty good pick. I think that's a underrated one.
What a weird movie that is too. I
love that movie though.
Yeah.
Like there's a fucking like scene where the Boogans is stalking the fucking dog, and the dog is like one of the best actors in the whole movie. It's so great. I was marking out. I was like, it's so killer.
I
The
feel
dog was
exactly
looking so
the,
concerned.
I feel exactly the same, Cybermentor.
Oh yeah. It's from the RoboCop remake, it looks like.
It is.
Jeez.
Well,
Hell, why we need to relive that?
we just do.
But yeah, I mean, I appreciate everybody sticking in and the Friday Night Lives crew. It's good to be guesting on here, you guys. But yeah, I mean, I thought this would be a good opportunity to go through a bunch of these movies and get, I think most of them we knew, at least one of us knew something about them.
Hmm.
So it kind of worked. But what do you guys got coming up on your channels? I know
It
Rambo's
list-
always got stuff every morning. I check at work and go through and see commentaries and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, more requests. I saw the Mousetrap, the Steamboat Willie slasher killer
Oh
movie.
God! Oh,
Yeah, it's bad as you think it is. And then Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, which I saw, I liked. That was pretty good, especially the actress, Susan Tyrell.
great.
yeah.
She's really
I was happy to see very young Julia Duffy's tits in that too.
good. Yeah, I didn't realize there was a very young Bill Paxton. That was pretty cool to see. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know he was in this.
Mhm.
And
It's a
more,
solid movie, yeah.
yeah, I liked it.
That could have been on here, but I think even something like that was pretty damn obscure, like
Mm.
even for this book in 2003.
Yeah. Real quickly, I will say one film I kind of wish was on there. I'll pick my choice is a personal favorite of mine, Stephen King's Graveyard Shift. I love that movie. Bravo! What did you Star Search? It's just that guy's accent.
Stephen Mox is great. Yeah.
When's the last time you've been to a graveyard? It's been as old as Christ was a kid. But anyway, yeah, bunch of requests. Interesting documentary on special effects called The Art of Illusion. More requests to come. How about you, Mark?
So we'll possibly be doing another live commentary pretty
Maybe.
soon. Maybe.
If it's fucking Alien vs Predator Requiem, I'm gonna kill somebody.
Poor bastards.
Tell me
Nothing
it's
so,
not.
nothing so far.
Yeah,
nothing so
nothing-
far.
Okay.
Yeah,
None
we
so
got
far.
we got a bunch of
And Alien
options
Romulus
to
came
check.
out, so I gotta see that movie.
I'm wondering though, like, would it be possible, like, with all this high tech editing software and shit, could they take the Blu-ray of Alien vs Predator Requiem and try to fix it, like the lighting and shit on it, and redo it? I wonder if they could do that.
I don't think so because the DP purposely didn't want to see any of the creatures in any kind of light at all. And I'm not joking. That's if you
Makes
watch the
sense.
making of, that's what he said. Like he used as little lighting as possible. And then after in post production, he also made it darker. So I don't think you could do anything to it to make it look any brighter.
He poured like tar over the fucking lens or something.
Over the celluloid. Yeah.
It's gonna be the darkest movie the world has ever seen. All right, so I guess the next thing that we're doing is for the we've got what is it? 3 more episodes, I think, of Summer Slashback. The last one is on September the 1st, but the one that's coming up on Sunday, Uncle Bill, is gonna be a lot of fun because, dude, like there's some fun shit to talk about
Yeah.
in God damn it, what's the name of it? It's too damn late now. The one that I picked, Uncle Bill. Eyes of a Stranger.
In the eyes of a stranger.
If you want to see 18-year-old Jennifer Jason Leigh's titties, this is the movie for you.
That's a good one. I think it's still probably underrated.
I
remember
did
seeing
like
that.
it a lot. I'll say that. Like I was shocked at how much.
You guys remember that big box set, that Warner DVD Scares box set that came
That's
out?
where I saw it. Yeah.
That's the first time I saw it too.
Yep.
Yeah, I was pleasantly
It's
surprised.
like Twisted Tears, I think was the name of it.
Yeah, that's
They
what it was.
boxed it. Yeah.
I like
That's
those.
where I saw that had Dr. Giggles. It had
Yes.
Eyes of a Stranger. It had The Hand. It had what was the other big one too that like
Was it
everybody
Deli
really could
Friend?
watch.
Deadly
There was a
Friend.
Carpenter movie on there or something, did it?
Yeah, someone's watching me or something like that.
Yeah, with Lauren Hunt. Yeah.
Yes.
I like
Uh,
though in that movie though, where she's a deaf. Jennifer Jason Leigh is a deaf mute in Eyes of a Stranger, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end, the killer just smacks the fuck out of her a few times, and she starts singing.
Well, it was because like wasn't something psychological that she like that broke through or something. Like that's why she was blind. Like
I don't know, but I fucking marked that.
he smacked some side
Oh,
into
smack me again.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
So we got that coming up. We've got reviews coming up. I revisited The Strangers, the original, for the first time since I saw it in the theaters. Did my opinion change of it?
No. I
Who's
already
to
tell you.
say?
You don't even have to
And,
wait for
He
it.
loves it now.
That'd be awesome. He's like, yeah.
This is amazing. That guy's underwear on his head was crystal clear. I can see the skid box.
So I was curious, are either of you rewatching stuff for your 2004 show?
Oh God.
I don't think I
No.
could torture myself that much.
You guys don't want to
wanna
rewatch Dracula 3000 or whatever it was.
Dracula
Blade Trinity.
2000, yeah. What?
Yeah, I
What?
rewatched Blade Trinity.
Seed of Chucky, Blade Trinity. Yeah.
Right.
I'm telling you, you guys got to talk
Oh,
about
pass.
AVP, or you're letting the fans down. It's
What we're
2004.
going to do for the 2004 show. I've got this one for the left nut and this one for the right, and I'll just go by that. Oh, shit.
Good luck with that.
Oh,
Just don't put any pins in it.
That was just a weird time period because I mean, they were really trying to figure out, and they did at the end of the year, they got their big, their big blockbuster horror movie that they are still milking to this day. But most of the other stuff, man, like, goddamn, what a year.
Have fun with that.
I dread some of that shit.
That is the 22nd.
Seed of Chuck. Yeah, it's Thursday, this coming Thursday.
Good luck with that. Seed of Chucky.
See how popular that'll be. Yeah.
I can't
but-
wait till you guys talk about Blade Trinity and Triple H.
I think that I'll have to go back and rewatch that because either I've never seen it or my memory of it is completely gone. I don't
You've
know.
seen it. I know you've had to have seen it just because it had
I
Triple
think I've
H
seen
in it.
it. I think I may have seen it in a damn theater too, but I don't know. It's been
God.
blocked out in my head. But
Man.
Yeah, what a year.
yeah, lots of reviews and stuff coming up. I've got a killer unboxing that I think it'll be up probably by tomorrow, maybe, or Sunday. Yeah, lots of shit. All right, guys. Let's go to bed.
Good night.
All right, but we appreciate everybody. Check out Stuntman Mark channel on the YouTube, Rambo Raft for Life, the Dead Pit channel, of course, Dead Pit.
.com.
I'd like to tell people, thumbs up the video, Uncle Bill.
Would you?
Yes, thumbs it up with violence and fury, and just love everything about it, right, Uncle Bill?
Yeah. You hit the heart button, then you hit the ass button, then you hit the go fuck yourself button. Follow that up with the I don't give a shit button.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit radio shirts. You can get Last South on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. Do you know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
We have a literal jukebox full of songs and thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram and help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So Dead Pit on Patreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.
You can do 50. The stock market's crashing around us, folks. But